All right, looks like we're up and running. Let's just double check that things are indeed up and running. So don't want any more audio issues like we really had on the first day of the stream. So go to my channel, just double checking that things are indeed up and running. Yes, sounds pretty good so far. So I'm going to take that as a W, get OBS going. All right. Okay, today we're going to do some fun stuff. We're going to be killing a couple of bosses in Elden Ring. I don't remember the name of the boss that we're fighting here, but we're in this castle here. We're right in front of a boss. We're going to talk about Synthetic Man's Escapism is Dead video and see if we agree with them. Something tells me I'm not going to agree, but we shall see if there's anything to learn. Before we get into that video, though, let us check out the Site of Grace. Can we level up yet? Okay, we only need a few hundred runes, so I'm going to level up before we get to the boss. So let's just go ahead and kill a couple of the guys around here. Oh, there's a mess of things in here we can kill. I don't know why that didn't hit anybody, but it didn't. Cool, cool, doing great. Having a great time so far. I only need about 5,900. Well, that's not getting us anywhere. This should, though. Only 61. Come on, we need like 6,000 runes. Bunch of jellyfish should help out. That's the boss we're going for. I think it's Leonin Misbegotten. Is that the name of that one? I think it is, but it's been a while since I fought them, so I don't remember. Cool. Don't tell me I'm gonna fall down. Don't want to fall down. Okay. Alright, let's get you coming. Come on, guys. Come get me. You can do it. I knew you could come get me, buddy. I have faith in you. Okay, so hopefully this will get us to where we need to be so we can level up and go fight us a boss. Alright, we'll chase after you if you want to be a jerk. Actually, I probably have a couple of runes in my inventory. I do! So let's just use one. Go level up, and go take on the boss. Still got a bit of exploring to do in this castle, but I'm already at the boss, so I'm just going to try to take it out before we go explore the rest of the castle. That's the Site of Grace. Level up. Dexterity. Sorry, I just gotta do one thing real quick. Alright. Let's go do it. Oh, yeah, one other thing I was going to do. I was going to check to see if there's any different equipment I wanted to select. I should just actually remove these. I'm not doing... I really haven't been shooting and I'm trying to avoid it. Is there other good stuff? The pumpkin head helm is actually significantly better. And I'm a lower load now because I took off some stuff. Is any of this stuff better? Not really. That one could be. It does have higher poise. Some of this stuff is better. It looks like it actually is. So yeah, we're going to do a mausoleum surcoat. Nope. And none of that looks exciting. Alright, so we got a nice pumpkin head. We are a pumpkin-headed dude with a new surcoat. Isn't that exciting? Oh yeah, I didn't actually flick up my straw, so I look stupid. Alright, with our new pumpkin-headed abilities, we will go take out the Leon and Misbegotten. I have faith in us. Hopefully we can sneak by these guys without them bothering us. Yeah. That guy, he's coming after us. But he will never catch me. Dodge all the jellyfish. And into the boss we go. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. Summon our boys, because we know we need them. Because I'm not really worried about, like, the most hardcore version of this game. Alright, this doesn't actually look like it's gonna be hard. Especially if you guys go in there and mess them up. Oh, you fucking won't. Stop moving! You're making me bad at the game. Oh, I did not mean to do that one. I wanted this one. I'm actually screwing up pretty bad, even though I should be winning. Bloody Slash is just too good, isn't it? Okay. Oh, I didn't get it off. I might lose. No, don't die. Okay. Alright, so that was actually really easy because of our cheesing and our Bloody Slash. But, you know, it still counts. So, let's rest at the side of Grace here. Touch Grace. We gotta go back and talk to Edgar. So we'll go do that. But, let us now listen to why escapism is definitely dead. Of course, I have that nice little preamble, and my play pause button isn't on the right thing, so it doesn't work.
It's been quite a while.
Alright. Now everything is all messed up. I want this. There we go. I can do things, I promise.
Since I've made a gaming is dying video, and
Gaming
something
is
that I've
dying.
been thinking about more and more over the past year.
Alright, I already have things to say. Gaming is dying, so it's been a while since he's made a gaming is dying video. I haven't watched really much of this person's content. I watched a few minutes of this just to see what was going on. But is gaming dying? I would say no. By any reasonable metric and almost any definition I can think of, gaming is not dying. I think it's more popular than ever, actually. Like Grand Theft Auto 5 was was like the highest selling media thing ever when it came out. Minecraft is breaking sales records left and right. It seems like gaming is absolutely not dying, especially with the pandemic. A lot of people are getting, or when the pandemic started, a lot of people were getting into live streaming and stuff like that because they had nothing else to do. So gaming is not dying. I could see an argument for maybe creativity dying. There's a lot of derivative content and a lot of like just heavily monetized content, like something like Raid Shadow Legends is just built to make money, basically. Well, I wouldn't say there's no artistic intent. There is little artistic intent, but you know, yeah, that's maybe an argument you can make. This year alone, though, has been insane for great games. The Dead Space remake was really good. We had Resident Evil 4 remake and its DLC. And the Dead Space remake and the Resident Evil 4 remake are legitimate remakes. They're not just remasters. So I would give a lot of... And they made significant changes to the game, which I think we're going to talk about, judging by the thumbnail of this video. those aren't, like, I would not call those creatively bankrupt or anything like that. They are full-on remakes and fantastic games. Let's see, other games we have. We had Starfield come out. It's pretty mixed. I personally enjoy it. It's pretty mixed. Baldur's Gate 3 is doing incredibly well. Armored Core 6 was really good. Tears of the Kingdom was really good. Yeah, it's just... We've got plenty. Super Mario Wonder is apparently doing really good. Alan Wake 3 is apparently doing really good. We had the Metroid Prime. I don't know if it's remaster or remake. That one is just a remaster, pretty much. I mean, it looks like it's a new engine and stuff, but it's pretty much the same game as it always has been, just with a slightly altered control scheme, and that you can use a stick where you couldn't in the GameCube version. Significantly better graphics. But I think the gameplay is like almost entirely intact, and the levels are almost entirely intact in that game. So this is just the wrong year to say that. Street Fighter 6 is incredibly good. There's so many like 90+ rated games on Metacritic or OpenCritic this year that to say any of those are dying, that the industry as itself, as a whole, is dying is crazy. Diablo 4, I think Diablo 4, although I liked it, the endgame is not great, although I've heard the season is better. I haven't played much of it. Diablo 4 might be the best argument that gaming actually is dying of like the really big high-rated games that came out, because it's just so heavily monetized. But even then, I mean, like, I don't know. I don't think it's evidence that gaming is dying. That game is sort of dying, but I am actually reasonably certain it's going to come back at some point. Diablo 3 died pretty heavily, and it's coming back, and it came back pretty good with updates. So yeah, overall, no, gaming ain't dying. We've got great games coming out that aren't predatory. We've got great games coming out that are a bit predatory, but there's a wealth of things. There's plenty of indie games to play too. So I normally play AAA games, but the idea that gaming is dying is ludicrous to me.
Is the death of escapism. Now, as you could probably guess from the thumbnail, this is going to be a somewhat political video.
Okay, so he's thinking gaming is dying because there's too many politics in video games. I wonder if this is going to be like one of the meme where it's like, oh, we need to keep our politics out of video games. What happened to games like Call of Duty and BioShock? Those are always the memes to bring up. Because they're incredibly political games that people say aren't political just because they don't have, like, modern-day politics all over them. God, I'm getting wrecked. Should have been able to handle that a lot better than I did, but bad at video game. So yeah, so if he's talking about politics, I'm gonna guess that, he's saying gaming is dying because people are injecting politics into games, which I would say, even if there's politics somewhat ham-fisted into some games, which I doubt is happening at any like huge scale. But even if there is ham-fisted politics in games that you don't like, there's got to be plenty that you do like that don't have that. Gaming as a whole is too big of a thing to make wide statements like that. Oh, hello. So let's see if that's what he's talking about.
Oh, so if that bothers you, now's the time to leave. A big part of the appeal of video games for me and...
Oh, we're staying here. That doesn't bother me one bit. I'll talk about the politics in games, or lack thereof.
Many other people is escaping reality for one reason or another. And as society has made the slow march into making literally everything political...
I didn't hear his exact wording there, but if he's saying... I may be responding to a straw man here, because I didn't actually fully get what he said. But I'll just respond anyway. If he's saying that that's the only reason that games are played is to escape reality, I would say that's wrong. A lot of games, like, you could do it entirely in reality. There are games you can play to try to increase your hand-eye coordination. There's stuff like aim labs. I guess that's more toward being better at games, but there's games that you can play to help improve your skills in real life. There's mind games and stuff like that. So I would not say that those are escapism. A lot of competitive games aren't escapism. They are just I want to be better at a thing, and so I want to play a game. That's the way I want to be better than people. Oh crap, I didn't notice that guy was that close to me. But I wouldn't say playing a competitive game is any more escapism than like playing a sport. So if that's what they were saying, then I disagree with them there. But honestly, I didn't catch every word, and so I might be responding to nobody there. But oh well.
With many people simply telling you that everything is political, yet out of the other side of their mouth also telling me that I'm making things political when everything's political. So figure that one out. If they didn't have double standards, they'd have no standards at all.
So is everything political? Kind of. I agree that in a way everything is political, but it's kind of difficult. Like your beliefs flow into damn near everything that you do. So in a way everything can be political. We can view just going to work as like, okay, well, I'm supporting capitalism by doing this or something like that. Or like I monetize my stream, which I haven't because nobody watches it. But if somebody did watch it and I monetize my stream, that in some way could be like a political statement. It also could be like, this is just the way I want to make money. I'm not trying to support capitalism or deny it or anything. But I do think it's a bit of a broad lens. If you bring that as like a counter argument to someone saying something is political, if you just say everything is political, I think you're being a bit too broad. You should instead just ask, like, well, what do you mean by this thing is political? So I would agree, technically everything is political. Not a very useful statement. It's better to just get clarifying, or to ask clarifying questions when somebody says something is political.
Alright, so as escapism slowly dies, so does my joy for video games. Though
the idea of escapism dying without video games, I would say, is also insane to me. The internet has made escapism incredibly easy. One of the things that I find that I'm kind of bad at is I don't a lot of times try to interact with the quote-unquote real world, just because I can put on a YouTube video like I'm doing now and play a game. And that allows me to just not think about my problems, not think about work, not think about relationships or whatever I got going on. So escapism definitely isn't dying in today's world. So yeah, I don't know how you could possibly think that, actually. It seems like a kind of insane thought to me. But, you know, maybe they mean something else. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm always open to be wrong.
obviously there's many reasons why I've slowly become apathetic over time, but let's just try to focus on escapism this episode. But before I get...
I wonder why this guy's actually already got damage. He must have hit one of the flying things or something. Yeah, we'll take out this guy. Easy peasy. I actually struggled with those guys yesterday for some reason, but today, not today. We're learning.
Get into this any further, let's get to this video.
You know why I didn't struggle? I got the pumpkin helmet. The pumpkin helmet saved me. Look at it. Look at how beautiful it is. It's so easy to dodge while wearing it. Alright, let's talk to this guy.
Now then, you've no reason to...
I beat the boss.
You've no reason to...
Wait. Didn't it say... Sorry, I'm following a guide. And... You can also finish their quest. I did beat the boss of the area with the bridge. Meet Edgar. Once you complete the boss's area, return to Arena's father, finally back to Arena to finish your quest. Also go straight back to Arena without speaking to your father, in which case you skip out on some dialogue. Advise against completing this quest too soon until your weapon upgrade is at least +8. +8 weapon after progress. Okay, so let's... I guess let's not worry about this. Yeah. I don't know why that didn't seem to work entirely correctly, but that's okay. I do want to still explore over there, though. So let's, instead of backtracking, I'm just going to refight some of this stuff. Let's go.
Video sponsor. This video is sponsored by Exter.
Alright, since these people are allowing me to react to things. I think this might be the first sponsored spot I have in a video. This is only my third stream after all. But I'm totally going to watch the sponsor. I think it's totally fair if I'm reacting to their content, although I think I'm transforming it, that I'm just watch their ad and have it play, you know? I want them to be supported if I'm going to be watching their stuff, so even if it's bad, even if I disagree, I want them to get their paycheck from the ad.
Are you sick of awkwardly fumbling through your wallet every time you go to checkout? Exter has a...
I am not sick of that. You want to know why? I use a Ridge wallet. I really like the Ridge wallet. I am not at all sponsored by Ridge. I'm not even close to popular enough to be sponsored by Ridge. But I like my Ridge wallet. I have the carbon fiber one. Way too expensive, but doesn't get scratched. So yeah.
Solution for you. Their wallets have a signature trigger mechanism that gives you convenient access.
I actually think I used a very similar wallet to this at one point. I have one with a trigger, but it was just almost twice as thick as the Ridge wallet, so I stopped using it.
To your cards at the press of a button. Exter has both the small, modern form factor card holders made of aluminum or carbon fiber, and wallets
Yeah, they also have carbon fiber. I like carbon fiber.
wrapped in premium leather for those who prefer a classic, more distinguished style. The wallets also feature built-in RFID blocking to protect you from data theft. If you're prone to losing your wallet or phone like I am, Exter also offers a solar power tracking device that features a two-way ringing feature, meaning you can find your phone or wallet as long as you have one or the other.
Solar powered. I wonder how often people lay their wallets in sunlight. Mine sits in my kitchen or my pocket. I guess I could get some from the kitchen, some probably in front of the window or something. But yeah, I wonder how often that's actually super useful.
You can get up to 35% off Exter wallets this Valentine's Day sale when you use my link shop.exter.com/.
I'm sorry, Valentine's Day has come and gone. You missed the sale. If you're watching this now. You can still use his link if you want, probably. I would assume that's still active, but Valentine's Day sale is gone. I'm sorry.
Synthetic Man, or my discount code Synthetic.
What the
Thank you, Exter, for supporting the
Lame.
channel. Now back to the video.
Alright, back to the video.
So as for
Let's go.
escapism, there's obviously a lot of different elements that goes into this, immersion being a big factor.
Alright, does immersion go into escapism? Yeah, it doesn't have to. As I was saying, some of the escapism I do is I just put on like a podcast and ignore my problems. And I'm not immersed in those podcasts because I'm also often doing like what I'm doing here, playing a game while listening to it. That's... I don't know that they're saying that it's the only form of escapism or anything. I wouldn't want to strawman them. But they did say it's a big factor, so... just saying, maybe it's not. Oh! I died. I'm thinking too hard, guys. That was it. It was just thoughts swirling in my head. So I thought too much, and I died. It's okay. Yeah, I guess is it okay if we're being more focused? Is escapism necessary in video games, or is immersion necessary for escapism in video games? No, I would say no. Same kind of thing. As long as my mind is immersed in whatever I'm doing, I've kind of escaped reality a little bit. At least for me. Maybe it's more necessary for other people, but for me, as long as I'm preoccupied, I have some level of escapism. So, wouldn't agree that this is a huge one that is absolutely necessary. I actually don't really play games that are that immersive that much anymore. I'm totally fine with not being immersed in the world, just because like I don't know, I like to just have tasks. I like to have good mechanics in games and good progression to kind of just think about, okay, what's the next thing I'm going to do, and a nice checklist of things. Those are the kind of things that I'm looking for in a game a lot of the time, and they do help me escape. So yeah, but let's see why immersion is dying.
And obviously this entire subject is highly subjective. What bothers me probably doesn't bother...
Is immersion subjective? Maybe. I think there are probably objective measures you could talk about with immersion. I don't think... I think there's probably a level of subjectivity to it, but there's also probably things that would be like, hey, like, the sound in this is really realistic. It doesn't sound like robotic or something like that, so I'm more immersed. And we can probably objectively measure stuff like that. Or the graphics. Be like, I wonder if, like, a less realistic art style, if it's fair to say that's less immersive. Probably not. So you could just do something like resolution, maybe? But I don't know if that's fair to say that it would be less immersive. Alright, I got literally the entire world coming after me right now, so... Okay, got a double kill. That's good. Alright, this guy's gonna hit me while I'm drinking because I didn't see him. Good. Alright. Not gonna lose to you this time. I'm gonna bloody slash your face off. Told you, it was just because I wasn't thinking. It's because I was immersed in the game that I was able to kill them that time. That's why immersion is important, y'all. But clearly it's not dying because I was just immersed. See? Point refuted. But yeah, that definitely seems like there's objective measures you could use to say that something is more immersive than others. So, while I would agree that it is subjective, there are subjective parts of it, I don't think that's the full picture. Let me get those other in there. Let's see what they have to say.
Other most people, which is evident by the countless backlash I've received for complaining about literally anything in video games. Because if you're told something's a masterpiece, it absolutely is, no question.
I'm curious if they're just receiving backlash because their opinions are actually bad. Like I did watch an EFAP on this person where they talked about God of War Ragnarok, and they made a lot of false statements about the game. So I would bet that a lot of it is based on that, and they're showing God of War Ragnarok here. So I think that's, I'm gonna guess, based on one video that I've seen of theirs, that is the actual main reason they're receiving backlash, not because they don't like a video game. That does happen. Like, God of War is a pretty popular game, so if you have legitimate criticisms on it, I can see somebody just being mad at you for making them because they're like, oh, you're being mean to the game that I love. But I'm gonna guess that that's not most people.
And I do want to address that this is not specifically going to be a Dead Space remake evaluation type of thing. I talked about it for about 5 minutes in my Last of Us Episode 3 review, and I will be retreading a couple of those points for this video, but it's not specifically about that game. There's definitely much more woke games than Dead Space Remake.
Okay, there's much more woke games than Dead Space Remake. I would agree. I didn't finish Dead Space Remake. I got 10 hours into it, and I don't know, started playing other games, started doing that. Sorry, I'm just kind of rolling around while I'm thinking a little bit. But is Dead Space Remake anything that I would consider woke? No. The only thing that I've seen that's quote-unquote woke is the gender-neutral bathrooms, but it's like, why do you care? Why does that matter? It's totally fine. Those are a thing. They can be a thing in this game. Without them being like, oh, nope, you have to... Yeah, I don't know, like, that doesn't seem like a huge ideology push. I didn't even notice it until people were complaining about it, so... yeah, I'd like to see evidence of Dead Space Remake being woke. I also don't 100% know what the term woke means. I know... I mean, I have a picture in my head when people say that, but it's somewhat difficult for people to define it.
But it was still bad enough to catch my attention, that's for sure. So let's get to the first point of contention and the one that inspired this video. Modern politics. It's based...
Okay, so yes, we're getting to the crux of the video. Modern politics. is indeed what's killing escapism in gaming. Be wary of what? Fat coin purse. Okay. I'm not sure what that means. But I will be wary of the fat coin purse. Yeah, so they're saying modern politics is ruining escapism. Is it... So if my daily life has, like, almost nothing to do with, like, political discussions or stuff like that, which mine doesn't. I mean, you can say, like, it's affected by it or whatever, but, like, mine doesn't. Would it be fair to say... Let's watch these guys all kill each other a little bit. Would it be fair to say that, like, politics being in a game is escapism? Like, is it fair to say that, like, hey, can you watch the news, for escapism? And just, like, I'm not really thinking about my problems, when I watch the news, unless it's news of something that directly affects me. So, is modern politics immediately not escapism? And so let's say we're saying the gender neutral bathroom in Dead Space is a thing, and let's say I'm a person who feels oppressed by the binary in bathrooms right now. Would I not experience escapism because I saw something that does not exist in my life and causes me anguish? Would that not be escapism? He said escapism is subjective, or immersion at least, so I would assume he thinks escapism is subjective as well. Why could one thing that is not escapism for you not be escapism for somebody else? I don't see why it wouldn't. Maybe the inclusion of somebody's political message is escapism for them. Because maybe they don't get to experience the world that they want to live in any real sense in the real world. So they want to escape from this world that has their politics. Why can't that be the case? Does that mean escapism is dying? I'm like, well, it might be for you, but that doesn't mean it's dying in general. It's very strange. Seems like we're speaking from our own perspective here, not considering anyone else's.
Basically impossible to escape progressive ideology in any modern AAA game and in a lot of indie games as well.
Okay, so I understand this game is now coming up on 2 years old, but I would love to see the progressive ideology in this game, or maybe the progressive ideology in Street Fighter 6. We still got some nice scantily clad women in that one. I could maybe see the argument for Mortal Kombat because they started toning down the scantily cladness of the women, so I could see an argument there, although I have an issue with that just because it seems like it's going away from part of what Mortal Kombat is, like, famous for. It's famed for sexy women and bloody as hell fatalities in combat. So I have an issue with it there, but I don't actually, like, care. Like, if that's what the developers want to do, it's like, yeah, go for it. It seems like a bad idea to me, but go for it if you want. Crap, what was that? Yeah, so, like, I don't know. I feel like we're seeing games. Super Mario Wonder is a really highly rated game. Does that have woke politics in it? I know very little about the political statements of Mario. I'm sure I could stretch to come up with some. But I doubt Super Mario Wonder is filled with woke politics. If you don't argue that that's a AAA game, then I think you're insane. Diablo didn't seem to have woke politics in it. Maybe I missed them. I played the crap out of that. Starfield definitely did, according to most people's definitions. It had those gender-neutral pronouns right at the beginning there, and I think there might have been a trans person or two in there, so that would definitely fit this person's definition of that, so can't use that as an example. I personally think the problem that people had with gender-neutral pronouns in Starfield was insane. It's literally just like an option at the beginning of the game. I don't know what the big deal was there. I must have missed it. Okay, so that's that way. So I think I've fully explored this castle now. So let's figure out where we're going next. Yeah. What did you complete about? Yep. Go into Stormvale and defeat Margit the Fell Omen. Okay, so there was actually one thing. I did not do this thing's dungeon. So I'm gonna go there and try to find the dungeon.
Worse yet, a lot of leftists and grifters pretending to be centrist or right-leaning attempt to gaslight us by debating what the term woke even means.
Okay. They're debating what the term woke... I agree this might be happening to an extent because woke didn't come from the right. Woke came from the left. Or at least progressives. Progressives are definitely the people who said it first. Now that it's being used as a pejorative or something of a slur or something, maybe like the term has kind of lost meaning, but like that was the people saying that like it has no definition are generally the people who started using it first. So that is a bit of an odd thing that's happening there. So I would agree with them, but I'm really hoping. I'm praying. Come on, Synthetic Man. Give us your definition of woke.
To me, woke represents any political messaging, subliminal or not, that pushes these modern progressive ideals.
Any political messaging that pushes modern progressive ideals. Okay, we can remove that. Is that my definition of woke? I don't think it's wrong. That doesn't seem any different from just progressivism. It's just, I guess, a synonym for progressive. Which is fine, I guess. We can have synonyms. But it doesn't seem meaningfully different, at least from just progressive in general. But with that, we at least know what this person's talking about. We can disagree with their definition if we want, but we now at least have one, so I'm thankful for that.
This covers a pretty vast spectrum, which is why there's been so much pushback from these so-called centrists. And look, my personal definition is...
Curious what so-called centrists they're fighting against. I occasionally watch the Sitch and Adam show, and they are the original enlightened centrists. They're not the original ones, they just like to use that branding. Actually, I think Sitch said he's not going to use that anymore. But I would call him out. Let me know who you're talking about. Who's the problem? Who should I yell at? Who we mad at? Who's those centrists? Let's fight them. Let's find them. Kick them out. We're done with you. Hey, we found the dungeon. Let's go do it.
Is broad on purpose, because sometimes subliminal messaging is even more important than the stuff vomited in your face. The thing is, we have now become so used to these devs pushing harder and harder that now when some of the more anticipated games have dialed it back a step or two, people are now pretending it doesn't count as woke anymore, right?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I guess people... I would guess that it's probably an argument of definitions. I've seen multiple definitions of woke. I think one of the ones that... I'll bring up Sitch and Adam again. Sitch basically said he thinks wokeness is like Marxism applied to like everything else. So it's the oppressor-oppressed narrative applied to like everything. That's what wokeness is. Which is different than just progressive ideology. Because you can be like a progressive in that like you want gay and trans rights and stuff like that without saying like, okay, gay and trans people are oppressed, so cis-het people are the oppressor. You don't have to view it through that way, even though you could totally fight for gay and trans rights. So that's a little bit more finely tuned definition. So if we use that definition, we would say, no, some of these things aren't woke. I wouldn't say that putting a gender-neutral bathroom in Dead Space fits that definition, because you're not saying that someone is an oppressor. You're just saying, hey, this might be a good thing to do. It would fit Synthetic Man's definition. So And also, to quote Sitchin Adam again, Sitch's law. Most arguments are arguments about definitions. So I would guess that that's actually what's happening here. But even so, is it a problem if they're woke? I mean, it's a problem for you. But should we stop developers? I guess we can socially shun them, which is, I guess, what they're kind of doing. But should we stop developers from being able to make that? I knew there was going to be a freaking... I hate these gargoyles. I knew there was going to be one. I felt it in the Force. I've done this dungeon at least once before, because I did, like, all dungeons before my previous playthrough, but I just felt it. I felt it in the Force. Anyway.
I've talked about the Overton window shifting a bunch of times. I'm getting tired of using...
Yeah, the Overton window does shift. And it does seem to shift ever to the left. I mean, I guess you can try to stop it. It does happen. You could say sometimes it needs a self-correction back to the right or whatever. But it's happened. The general trend is to the left. It is what it is.
Using that term, but the point is, we have become so used to the absurd, nearly parody tier leftist crap like Velma or The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah. I didn't watch Velma. What I did see of it, from like EFAP, I think, talked about it a bit. It sounded... Oh, hey Matt, watching from Baltimore, thank you. How's the game? Did I saw last time I looked, Seahawks were getting destroyed. I haven't checked since then though. But I appreciate you coming in and checking in up on me, man. Giving me at least one chat. I hate these gargoyles. I hate them with everything that with every fiber of my being. I'm actually just gonna... I don't know if Matt's actually listening because he was out at the game. But I'm gonna check the score of the Seahawks-Ravens game. See how we're doing here. So I live in Seattle, so I pay attention to them there. Seahawks. Seahawks... Oh my god! Seahawks got demolished! 37-3! Oh no! Oh no. My two favorite teams in the NFL are just... They're like both good, but they're not great. It's the Bills and the Seahawks. They keep losing to really good teams. And... Well, actually, no, the Bills beat the crap out of the Dolphins, and the Dolphins are considered pretty good. But then they lost to, like, the Jaguars, who are doing okay, and... I don't remember who else they lost. They lost to somebody else. Oh, the Patriots. So it's like, who the hell are the Patriots? The Patriots are nobody. And they lost to them, and they lost to the Jets. And the Jets are doing okay. They're like middling. So yeah, the two teams I follow are doing well, but they're incredibly inconsistent, which is sad. Anyway, yeah, I heard Velma was incredibly stupid and woke and whatever. I don't actually know. Last of Us 2, his definition of woke, yeah, it would definitely fit that. There's all kind of gay people in that. And they, like, argue against this dude who's a bigot. So that is definitely some progressive ideology being put in there. I won't disagree with you that. I think it's fine. The only thing that I think is weird about The Last of Us, it's not like a problem. But there does often seem to be, like, a concentration of like people with different identities in media. Like, oh, we have the perfectly mixed group of people, and like we got our trans person, and we got our homosexual person, and we just got whatever non-binary person. Like, we've got these people well represented in a small selection of people. It doesn't mean it can't happen. It totally can, but statistically it's incredibly unlikely. The groups of people that I hang out with, well, not even my friends, just the people I see often. I really don't see trans people very much. I run into them, but like I don't work with any. None of my friends are any. I've got a couple of like old friends from high school who are, but they're not very common. So like when you see a show, it's like, okay, we've got a group of 5 people, 2 of them are trans or whatever. And the show wasn't really about that, I guess. Like, I don't know, it seeps in it sometimes. So The Last of Us kind of fits in there. So I do notice that. I don't really care. I can say, like, yeah, this is kind of a rare thing, but it's fine. Rare things happen all the time. And I can totally identify with the struggles of LGBTQIA or, like, minorities and stuff like that. I can get it. I can empathize with those people. Totally happy to have them as characters and just see what they're about and, you know, figure it out. The actual dumbest thing in The Last of Us is how big Abby is. She's like an enormous human being in the apocalypse. I think it would be tough to be a really big dude. And she's like enormous. So that's a strange thing. So yeah. I don't know if Abby's size would be considered. I guess he'd probably consider it to be woke. I would not consider it to be woke. But whatever. Don't you like how, like, when I turn, it actually, you can see my shadow moves and stuff in the background? Very fun.
That when something like God of War Ragnarok or the Dead Space remake shows up, people are debating whether or not it's woke at all. Even when those very same changes were done to something like Rings of Power, right? Like race.
Oh. I did not know that was going to be that. Well, that's cool. I found the under of that. Happy about that. Oh, so that kills you. Okay, so you need to run off. Okay, yeah, let's run get that, and then we can go underneath it later, right? Uh-huh. So we should be able to... Wait, do we have to go underneath it? Or can I sprint toward it? No! That doesn't feel right. I felt like I made that. Okay, let's run and leap. Alright, I made it this time. Do we want to go down there? Because I doubt we can climb back up. So let's head this way first to see what's going on this way. Okay, there is. This looks like it's just an end. I'm sure there's freaking... Yep. I knew you guys were lurking. You always are. It's probably even more. I don't see any currently. Okay, yeah, so we need to go underneath that. That's cool. I got my grave bloodboard. So yeah. I hope he actually tells us why he thinks Ragnarok and Dead Space were woke. Let's find out.
Swapping characters or making some of the female characters.
Race swapping characters. Okay, I am far from an expert on Norse mythology, so I don't know. Angerboda, I assume she was probably white in Norse mythology, because Norse people were generally white. But I don't really know why it would matter, I guess. I found her boring. I didn't beat Ragnarok, but I did, I played like 20 hours of it, and then I I watched the rest of the playthrough while I was playing something else, because I don't know, I just got tired of it. I don't know why. It wasn't bad, I don't know, I wasn't into it for whatever reason. Angerboda I thought was boring, but she wasn't bad or anything, it was boring. And I don't know why I would care that she is black. I don't... Like, what's the issue there? I love that I drink right through my little pumpkin mask. Pretty stupid looking. But, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. The fact that I can even see is kind of weird. Okay, are these things just coming back? Or is there, like, just that many of them? Or what's the dealio? I think they're coming back. I can kill them for a little bit here. I think, if I remember correctly, there's something you gotta do to stop these guys from getting summoned. Yeah, so I'm just gonna move on through here. Yeah, like, is that a problem if she's black? What if they went through a bunch of people who could easily do their voice and their likeness and stuff like that, and they just, the person they like the best was a black girl. What would be the argument against it then? I understand that you could argue like, oh, she just got it because she's black. I understand that argument, but you don't know that that's why she got that. So what if they just said, yeah, no, we liked her the most. She did the best. And since it's her likeness that we're using in a game, it makes sense to match her skin to this, and it doesn't break anything. It doesn't cause issues for us. So like, then what? Is it still woke? I would say no. That's not pushing an ideology. Like, giving somebody a job based on their qualifications doesn't seem like woke ideology to me. So if that's their reasoning, how would that be woke? See, I don't know. It feels like we're doing a little bit of mind reading here. Just because, yeah, somebody looks different than what you would expect doesn't mean it's woke ideology.
Characters absurdly powerful, even better than men. If it counts as woke for TV, why is it not woke for video games? Well, that's a subject for a different video.
Stupid.
The point is,
that stupid dialogue actually made me almost die. Because I was just like, wow, I can't target that thing, or dodge, or anything. Because the freaking dialogue was still up. I hate that. That's the worst part of this game. 0 out of 10. I mean, it should be fine. I got plenty of health potions. But I was just sitting there eating it and just wandering around because that freaking dialogue was still up. Yeah, why does it count for TV and it doesn't count for video games? I don't think that doesn't. I think again, this is people just disagreeing with you. There's probably nuances that you're not acknowledging between these cases. I don't actually know, but I would guess. Like, comparing Dead Space Remake to why can I not think of the name of that Scooby-Doo freaking crap? Velma. From what I've seen of Velma, that sounds insane. Velma is like an absurdly stupid, annoying show that does actually legitimately push its politics. To be like, oh, that's a problem in that show. Why aren't we acknowledging the Dead Space problems? It's like, these are not the same problems. These are not. We should not even think about comparing these. So that would be what I'm guessing is happening.
when I see this stuff, especially when it's a remake and it obviously wasn't in the original.
When it's a remake and it obviously wasn't in the original, well, by definition of it being a remake, there should be things that are not in the original. I don't know. Like, what's... Especially with Dead Space Remake, what's the woke thing? Is it just a gender-neutral bathroom? They redesigned all the levels. They made the Ishimura interconnected. So... yeah, I don't know. Like, is that... just because that gender-neutral bathroom is in there, and it's a remake, we know that it's woke? Seems a little strange to me. I'm just going to run by these guys and not pause because we're going to go fight a boss. Don't know how hard of a boss it'll be, but judging by how I've been doing recently, I'm sure it'll be fine. Oh, these stupid things. Yeah, I hate these guys. Alright. I missed. God, there's so many of them. Alright, we focus on the ads first. Hopefully the dogs are doing a good job. Alright, we're doing actually pretty good so far. Also because the dogs are distracting him. Yep, got beat by the frickin' mama watchdog. Whew. Alright, back up. Everybody calm down. Alright, cool. Now we focus on Mama Watchdog. That felt like it should have hit, but, you know, fine. I felt like I was dodging, but I guess I wasn't. more hit, but we're gonna make sure we don't screw up. And hit. I'm so good at the game. Look at me, using the summons as they were intended. I'm showing that I'm an elite gamer by using summons. The best Elden Ring player to use summons. Why use inferior tactics? If the summons are available, use them. Good gamers use good tactics. Okay? Bad gamers don't use the summons. Those are bad gamers. I am, of course, memeing. Play the game however the hell you want. I'm just trying to see everything, and I'm not worried about having super tough, amazing fights. I want to move on through the game. Okay, so I know there was also here. I didn't do this. I thought it was going to be on the guide, but it wasn't. So I didn't do that, so I'm going to go do that too.
Then obviously that's going to bother me because it was a change made on purpose by developers to push subliminal messaging, like the all-gender bathroom.
Yay, it is the all-gender bathroom. Do we think that's subliminal messaging? It's I don't think it's subliminal messaging. I think it was a conscious decision to make it a gender-neutral bathroom. You could argue that like a space station just wouldn't have the space for 2 bathrooms, so gender-neutral would actually make sense. So there's no ideology in it at all. You'd just be like, hey, we just have 1 bathroom here. We're not dividing it into 2 because space is at a premium. But is it subliminal messaging? Maybe I gotta look up the definition of subliminal, which I might do here in a second once I actually get to the dungeon here. Is it subliminal messaging? Yeah, I don't know. Like, it definitely was done on purpose, like you said. It can't be done on accident, so not the most important point, but... Alright, while we're going down this, let's look up subliminal. Below the threshold of sensation or consciousness, perceived by or affecting someone's mind without their being aware of it. So, by definition, since he is aware of it, it's not subliminal, right? They saw it. You can see it. It's right there. Maybe you can... I guess maybe if we're being charitable to them, not... You mean like the you should have gender-neutral bathrooms ideology, I guess, is not there? Maybe that's what they mean? I'm not sure. But, yeah, it doesn't seem subliminal to me. But let's continue.
In Dead Space Remake, unisex and all gender are not the same fucking thing, especially when they use the pedestrian icon that obviously represents trans people being like half man.
Unisex and all gender are not the same thing. I don't know a meaningful difference for those two. Let me actually... We're just doing a whole lot of Googling today. Unisex. Unisex is designed to be suitable for both sexes. We say all gender. So I guess all gender would not imply a gender binary, whereas unisex would. Yeah, so a style in which men and women look and dress in a similar way. So I guess they are right. Unisex applies a gender binary by the definitions I looked up, whereas all gender wouldn't. You can have as many genders and be all. Whereas apparently you can only have 2 genders and be unisex. So I guess point for them. They noticed that distinction. Cool. Good for them.
Male, half female, or whatever. If it just said unisex, I honestly would not have given a fuck. And then there seems to be a different problem, and I don't know if this was due to YouTube policy changes.
So the exact same thing, but just doesn't say all gender. They would have been fine. I actually kind of doubt that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being mean. But that seems unlikely to me. Is it just the term gender? People seem to be really amped up about the term gender. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, gender just triggered them, so they had it. So maybe they're telling the truth there.
Around what is considered racism, but I've noticed more and more that a lot of people are completely fine with race swapping under certain contexts. I don't
know why we brought up race swapping and it being racist. Is race swapping necessarily racist? Is that what they're trying to say? That seemed like an odd thing for them to bring up. I would say no. Race swapping isn't necessarily racist. Okay, we got rats coming out. Well, isn't in and of itself racist. You're not saying one is superior to the other. You're just changing the vision. I would not say changes of visions in that way are like derogatory toward a race. Yeah.
don't really have enough data here to give you an answer as to why this is, but again, something that was complained about with Rings of Power is now completely fine with God of War Ragnarok.
Also, I wonder... Something that was complained about in Rings of Power, I think he's probably talking about the Black Dwarves. That's what I would imagine they're talking about. I don't actually know. But something that was complained about, yeah. I had a point. I've lost it. Oh no. What was it? They were talking about race swapping. Oh, yeah, I know what my point was. I'm wondering if they're talking about the same people. Whenever people talk about, like, oh yeah, everything was fine here and now it's not fine there, are you talking about the same people being okay with it and the same people not being okay with the next one? I always doubt that people are. It definitely could be a definition thing, but it also could be just like, you're talking about two different groups of people. I always feel like that when people bring this up. There is a side thing. Okay, there's a couple side things on this one. I was thinking I might have missed that on the first elevator. So I will go try to get those again. But yeah, I have a feeling it's a two different groups of people thing or a definition issue.
Despite the fact that they're both based on white culture. And I am in no interest to debate what white means or what culture means.
Okay. It seems weird that you're interested in debating this topic when you're not interested in discussing what the definition of your terms are. These are very important. In fact, they might be the most important. They're definitely cause for a lot of arguments, as Sitch of Sitch and Adam would tell you. So I feel like you have to be interested in that. You have to at least, maybe you don't have to debate them like you said. Oh my god, I'm just thinking. Just so many thoughts swirling in my head causing me to just die. I guess you don't have to debate them, but you should at least say what you mean. If you know it's a debated thing, which you're saying you do, you should be ready to give your definitions of it, at least, so people are clear on what you're saying. So yeah, I don't like that bit there. As far as what the definition of white and culture are, I don't actually know the strict definition of culture. I guess it would just be like the patterns that you see within like a society are kind of like its culture. Aspects of society that like bind a group together, maybe something like that. I feel like I'm probably pretty close there. So to say like complain about someone changing the race of someone in white culture, is that an issue? I suppose it should be an issue if we say like, oh, we can't change, like, let's say like we take like, I don't know, a group of samurai and one of them's a white guy. If that's an issue, I suppose it should also be an issue if we take a group of like Vikings and one of them's a black guy. I would say that those, either both of those are okay or neither of them are. So I might have some agreement with them here. I don't know that just doing this to anger Boda is an issue, though. In fact, I don't I personally don't care. I don't see why it should be an issue. Alright, let's see if we can get... There's a side thing here. I think we can... Whoop, and then start dropping down. Maybe we can do that all the way from the top. I don't remember. There's no item here. Am I just doing this for no reason? Looks like I'm gonna get hurt if I jump. Is there an item over there? I don't actually see. I see that message that somebody got there, but oh, I didn't get hurt. Cool. Let's call this back.
The fact that anyone's even trying to debate those terms proves they're using the exact same tactics that the left does.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of that statement. They're using the I mean, I know progressives have redefined a few words that have been iffy. Like redefining racism to only mean prejudice plus power, instead of prejudice against someone based on their race. That's an odd one. So if that's the kind of tactics that I mean, I guess, I feel like I could probably, I can't think of one right now, but I feel like there probably is examples of the right or conservatives doing that too. But maybe communist. They label everything communist, so that's a bit of a rough one. So they think anytime you do anything to help anyone seems to be communist. Not everybody, obviously, but I wouldn't call that just a left-wing tactic.
And look, I'm not going to turn this into a fucking drama video, so I will end it there. But just keep an eye out for the...
We're talking about the tactics of the people you're, I guess, against. Make this a drama video? Aren't you already doing that thing? You think this one tactic is going to turn it into a drama video? Wouldn't drama be like you're specifically calling out one person? Wouldn't that be the drama? Which they're not doing. But I don't know why going into a discussion about the definitions of some of the words you're using would be drama. It's a strange statement.
These anti-SJW types in the near future, because I feel like the tide is shifting once again on YouTube, where in a year or two you might not even be allowed to talk about this shit anymore. My channel will probably be shadow banned.
Not allowed to talk about this shit anymore. YouTube has pushed a lot of conservative speakers. Like Ben Shapiro is incredibly popular on YouTube, and he's very conservative, and he talks about like this stuff, and he's fully monetized. Steven Crowder is incredibly popular. I know he got demonetized. I don't know if he ever got remonetized. I know he got demonetized at one point. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like conservatives are actually probably doing okay on it. I would like to see data on whether or not this shadow banning and stuff is actually real. I heard people talk about it. I've always had the doubt and been like, maybe you're just not very good at content. And this is coming from someone who has no viewers ever. You know? Maybe you're just not very good at making content and marketing it. It's possible. It's possible you're not shadow banned. It's possible you suck. But, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people are getting shadow banned. Tough one to prove. I would love to see data on it. But I also haven't dug into it, so I'm not that worried about it.
But for the moment, I would just advise paying very close attention to the consistency of the creators that you enjoy watching, the consistency of their views specifically. This is not in any way me trying to start some kind of purity spiral to slowly radicalize people over time. I'm completely fine with my viewers having different views than me. It happens all the time. My like-dislike ratios are far below average.
This is not them trying to start a purity spiral. Sorry, I just got something. I got a notification at work. Doesn't look like it's important though. I'm not trying to start a purity spiral. I mean, well, there are you are either starting or contributing to a discussion, right? It's a bit weird to just be like, I'm not trying to do something while you're sort of doing it. I mean, I agree they're not really doing drama, but like, let's not say you're not trying to convince people or change your audience's mind. Why else would you make this? You're clearly trying to do something like that, right? That's a... I can't travel to a site or grace from this location? Okay. Well, I'm hurting on stuff. So, I can go back. You know what? Screw it. Let's try to fight this guy once. I don't even know what it is, but we're going to try to fight it once, and then we'll come back and get our stuff. Get that loading screen. Oh, that loading screen. Oh, it's a stone digger troll. Okay. Sure. You're not too big of a scary dude. My troll, dude. We got him. So excellent at this game. Oh, just the actual best. Can you believe it? Too good. Too good at the game. Alright, let's head back. And I'm also going to try to see if there's any more smithing stones on that one elevator.
For any media content reviewer. No, what I'm doing is essentially gatekeeping, which of course has a very...
Is there a big difference between trying to convince people of your side on this thing and gatekeeping? Like, you're either saying you need to change your mind or you shouldn't be a part of this thing. So it sounds like you are doing... I don't see a huge difference between what you're saying you're not doing and the thing that you're saying you are doing. But maybe you'll tell me why they're different. I knew there would be items here. You see? You just gotta do it correctly, man. You just gotta explore a little.
Negative connotation amongst certain groups on the internet.
We actually just yesterday talked about gatekeeping and how Jim Sterling is not a big fan. James Stephanie Sterling didn't like gatekeeping while they were gatekeeping. But I agree that gatekeeping is fine. Like, there isn't like a huge problem with it generally. I mean, there's ways to do it in a toxic manner, but the concept isn't like the end of the world. You have to gatekeep to some extent in order. If you want a group of things, there has to be some level of gatekeeping, no matter what you're making a group of, or a fan of a thing. Like, you should say, like, okay, our fan base, this is the thing that we like. If you don't like that thing, then you're not part of the fan base. That is gatekeeping. We could be like, okay, like you could say like Star Wars, for example. Be like, it doesn't make sense for something like this to be in Star Wars because it doesn't meet what we view Star Wars to be. So it's fair to be like, okay, we're gonna gatekeep this and say people who like this shouldn't be in our community. So I totally agree that gatekeeping is not a big problem. Nor is it necessarily negative. It can be negative. You can definitely just shit on people for no reason at all, just because you're gatekeeping, or for no good reason. But especially when it comes to like quality, being like, okay, this is like a thing that we want to put out, and like somebody just says, no, this is shit. I don't want it part of, I don't know, my channel or YouTube or whatever like that, and I'm gonna insult this or I'm gonna critique this. That's a form of gatekeeping, and it's totally valid. So, yeah, I would agree with them. Gatekeeping, not in and of itself bad. There's just bad ways to do it. Alright, let's see if we can kill this thing. Oh, I shouldn't have got him off my thing yet. Got him. Actually, more wild strikes. Alright. Come on, bruh. You think you got it? You ain't shit. Oh, I'm dying. Okay. You got me more than I thought you would. I didn't think you had that triple strike attack. But it's okay. I'm coming back with a vengeance. Look at how dead you are. You're so bad.
But I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. The entire point of gatekeeping is just to ensure that the people in your hobby are the people who actually care about said hobby, the people who are invested in it and have a deep emotional attachment. Not the type of people who are just...
I would agree to some extent. That's not all gatekeeping does, or is, but that is something you can definitely gatekeep to some extent to make sure that is true. We've got a lot of dudes here. Need to do a lot of killing. Alright, we got him. Along with a Godric soldier helm. I'm gonna guess that that is not better than my pumpkin. Well, I have a bunch of them, so clearly it's not better. My pumpkin helm, FTW. Okay, so we're gonna be fighting not Godric, but
just there to
can't remember his name.
Or
oh my
to
God.
slowly turn the hobby into what they want instead of just enjoying it for what it is.
Yeah, that's a fair point. You can definitely gatekeep to be like, nope, we want to keep this the way it is. People who also want to keep it the way it is, welcome in. People who want to change it, not welcome in. What is this dude? I can't remember this thing's name. I feel like I'm doing it right now. But we're gonna fight this thing. It's like the first major boss of the game. So let's do it. And we're totally gonna summon Sorcerer. Because that's how we do. Good gamers use good tactics. It's not all about skill, it's all about tactics. I also think you need to do that in order to continue his questline. But Margit! Oh my god. Is this the Foul Omen? Well, you know what? We'll watch. I lied, I don't want to watch this. Yeah, Margit the Foul Omen! Let's go! Let's see what you got, baby! How dare you attack my dudes? You're so mean. The best part about these summons aren't even the damage that they do. It's just that they're not attacking me. That's the whole, like, good part of them. Okay, okay, we can do a crit. Yeah, see, like, I don't have to even try to avoid attacks. I just back up while he's attacking someone else. Uh-oh. Oh, it didn't actually get me. Back up while he's attacking someone else, and get my attack out. Alright. Lose on ya. Very close to dead. I will heal real quick just to... Okay. Yeah, I didn't make me heal at all. You're dead now. Think. Look! Look at how hard the game is. It's so hard. Talisman pouch. That gives me another talisman, doesn't it? Yeah. Let's see, which one do we want? Final hit of blade attacks is not bad. We don't care about that. Hits of charge attacks. I never do charge attacks. That one's fine. Green Turtle Talisman is always really good. Let's just do the Green Turtle Talisman so I can just keep attacking and running around and whatever. Not a bad one. Alright, so we beat Margit. Super hard mode with our immense number of summons, but that's okay. Alright, go into Thornvale, beat Margit Fountain Gates, and ensure you unlock a conversation with Molina. It takes you to a round table hold. Once you're talk to all NPCs and familiars, so many locked doors. Okay. So we're supposed to get a conversation. Okay. Well, maybe it's maybe I gotta go to another side of Grace. I think there's one like right up here, isn't there? Stormvale Castle. Yeah, there it is. I thought we were done. Sure, you unlock a conversation with Melina that takes you to Round Table Hold. What's your... Maybe I already did that. There's several NPC. Yeah, that's fine. Roderica and Hewig, you'll find Roderica once. And the Chrysalids Memento found in Storeville at Stormhill Shack. Or have rested at any Grace in Liurnia. Sure, we'll do with the Golden Seed. Memento, okay. They're just kind of telling me... Should be checking out the Round Table Hold? I guess I do have some smithing stones, so I can at least do that. Do you have anything more to say? No. Okay, study incantations. That's open now. You're probably still not talking to a bull.
Then you would do what
Yeah, I don't really care about this.
and you. Once there was a true I have high. I'm sick of these. No. Wait.
Okay, I have spoken long enough. Fair enough, my dude. You don't want to talk to me? I want to talk to you. The dung eaters through here. Yep, dung. Dung indeed. Any more to say?
It will lead you to... What is it? Still milling it.
Don't
Be
you?
sure to tell me if you meet a young... She's a servant to my... She's been my... I've lost count, honestly.
Okay. I think what's his name? Okay, he's not here yet. But the dude who just helped us comes here, I believe. To give it in this spot. Yeah, so you...
Well, I took you from that matter. Lay out your own.
Yeah, strength and armament. You can do that. Bam. I can do it again. Ujigatana +4, eh?
Back already.
Yeah.
No matter.
I don't have anything else to say to you. It's locked, right? Yeah, you know what? While we're doing this.
Which has destroyed many, many subcultures over time. That certain people have subverted fan bases or even movements and destroyed them from within. Now, since I've already derailed the...
With like a couple examples of this. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but whenever you make a statement or an argument, you should always come up with examples. It really, really helps. If you say a thing is happening, tell me when, tell me why, tell me how. Those things.
The entire purpose of this video. Let's try and get back to examples of games where they just shoved politics where it didn't belong. Now, the most obvious recent example of this was Forspoken.
Okay. Hopefully I have some fun things to say about this. I haven't played Forspoken. I have no desire to play Forspoken. But hopefully there's something I can say about this. Oh no, I don't have enough. Oh, I do need to buy. There were some in Blank Key Bolt. There's some Stone Sword keys. How much do I have? I have 9,000, so I should be able to afford some. There's some Stone Sword keys. In the... There's a merchant. I think he's down here. Nope. A little bit there. Yes. Yeah, that's why I got the little thing on him. So let's go buy some Stone Sword keys from them. Yeah, hopefully we have some stuff in Forspoken that I can talk about. Hopefully it brings up examples so I can actually talk.
Which I feel like the only reason it was even made is to pad out Square Enix's ESG score. If they hadn't gotten funding from...
ESG, what? It's like environment, social, and government or something like that. I don't know how much of a issue ESG scores actually are. I don't know much about them, but I've heard them bring up as like memes where it's like the the one episode of a Black Mirror where everybody's got like a social score or whatever and needs to raid people, and the one girl like eventually becomes like invisible because she her score is so low. So people bring it up like that, but I have doubts that it's that bad of a thing. I think it's fair to like, I don't know, for certain companies, if you're looking to work with another one, to understand it, just like, hey, they're not very environmentally friendly or socially friendly or whatever. I think that's totally fair. Maybe tracking it like that is not always good because it can always be used for ill, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know that much about it, but people talk about it like, or some people at least talk about it like it's the end of all things to come. Sorry if my drinking was actually making noises. Maybe I should be more conscious of that. I'm just making all these weird lip noises, doing some ASMR for y'all, you know. I know all the people listening like that.
BlackRock, there's no way this would have ever seen the light of day. It's obvious that they had no idea what they actually wanted to make as a game. So seeing as the likely lengthy pre-production hadn't produced anything worthy of making a game, that's where ESG comes along and is like, okay, you need to have a black female protagonist.
Okay, how do you know that they didn't want a black female protagonist? Why is that a result of ESG? Why can't that just be their vision? In the same way that having a white male protagonist could be their vision. Also, we're doing a lot of mind reading here, saying like, "Oh, we had no vision." It could be. I haven't played Forspoken, so maybe it's a garbled mess without a clear vision. But I do software development, and it's often the case, since it takes a long time to make things. It's often the case that you start with one vision and you end with another, and it's sometimes tough to keep it all very cohesive, especially when like it's a big team working on things. The vision can sometimes be lost. So it may very well be that they just had one vision in mind, and whatever constraints they ran into caused it to change, and they weren't always able to keep it cohesive. That doesn't mean that they never had one, so I think we're being a little bit unfair and uncharitable there. But also, yeah, like, black female protagonist does not equal we changed this because ESG. There's a bunch of white male protagonists in games. Do you think that those... Well, Isaac is a white male protagonist in Dead Space, and that's apparently woke. So, yeah, don't know about that one.
On top of a culturally...
Actually, let me, Roderick here, Golden Seag, Smithing Master here, choosing option. That's all the dialogue. Let the round table hold. And now become your spirit tuner. Yeah, I haven't gotten that yet. Right?
Oh, had a change of...
No.
I understand.
He'll give me STIs. But where is... Was it here? Yeah, they're telling me... Coliseum combat. Oh, I didn't even know about that. That's a reasonably new thing. Okay, so Roderica still isn't here. I think I'm done here. D Hunter dead after defeating Tim and Marina. D can be... Yep, I did that. Show you the way to... Once you visit Garank, D will sell you wares to you. Okay, so let's actually visit Garank. I think that's here? Yes, Bestial Sanctum. I know eventually he does attack you. But it shouldn't be an issue yet. I don't remember when he starts, but he won't be doing it yet. We got two of these? There you go.
I smell it. Death. Feeding me.
Let me see your face.
Tarnished. I shall grant thee. Feed me.
Bestial Sling. Clawmark Seal. Beast Eye. I don't remember what all these do. None of them are here. Oh yeah, seal. Seal's the faith weapon. I completely forgot. Okay. Got our things. Yeah, so update here. Where can we found the beast of time Caleb? There as soon as you're given the way be able to straight into the building and don't fight the gargoyle here. Yep. He's got some bolts getting a death root each time you get it. Fourth death root an event triggered the next time you visit Grank. Damage your attacker until they've been pacified, but don't defeat him. Best ends after you've given a 9 death root. Okay. Start Fia's quest of speaking to her in a room in a round table. Yep. She'll only speak to you in secret if you let her hold to. Okay, so let's go get held by what's her name? I guess there is a quest with her. I don't remember it, but she'll speak to me while she's holding me. I know she gives me a debuff, but you know, it's been a while since I've been held. So let's go get in touch with our more sensitive side over here.
Oh, had a change of... Ah, my...
Yes. And let the roundness of my pumpkin head comfort you. Yes. Feels so good.
You are...
Thank you. I got a Bedalchin's blessing.
What you felt light up inside you, though it is but a fleeting come back to me. I will take you in my arms.
Yeah, doing so will give you Bedalchin's blessing. She creature match made 3 while it's in your inventory.
I am pleased. Would you like me? The blessing is still aflame. Would you like to be held? Now.
Sure, hold me one more time. I don't remember if you tell me something.
Diverse fantasy world with no explanation as
known
Death
after I received the warmth and I lay to do so, but before I could, I was away. Pray, despite all, so please. Then good day to you, my dear.
Yo, is this your first playthrough? No, this is not my first playthrough. I have totally played through like all of it on PlayStation. And I got almost all the trophies. I got screwed out of a couple because I didn't realize that getting far enough into it was going to shut down, what is that, like Lanedale, the capital. So I missed the chance to get like one of the artifacts or something like that. So this one I'm following a guide and totally just summoning and all the fun stuff just so I can try to get through all of it before the DLC comes out. But no, this isn't my first playthrough. I haven't done every quest line. And it's been a while since I played, so I forgot a lot of things, but I'm totally just following a guide and seeing what we get to try to hit damn near everything.
I am pleased. Would you like me? The blessing is... Would you
Sure.
like...
Hold me again. I don't remember if you say something different. That's the problem.
Then good day to you.
Okay, so where actually is that thing in your inventory? You can get rid of it, can't you? Yeah, so this is that thing. Said to tremble and close to death root, right? Where is that blessing thing? I don't remember how to do anything in this game. No, those are Ashes of War, melee armaments, ranged weapon. Yeah, it should just be about summoning spirits. No, I don't care about any of that. There it is. Uses FP to temporarily boost poise, but it does lower your health while you have it, right? Yeah, Corlo Dialos. The most important thing to do here right now is to ensure that you have upgraded weapons as much as possible as Stormville Castle. Difficult inventor, yep. Head northeast of Stormhill Shack to pick up the Strength Knot Crystal Tier guarded by a giant. Sure, let's go do it.
as to how those people got there, or how a librarian can be morbidly obese, and of course everyone has to be ugly as well.
What's wrong with a librarian being morbidly obese? I don't know if this is where they want me to go. Maybe that's kind of direction we're heading. Why does that make it woke? I don't know. There's lots of morbid... Like, there's probably more... I don't know when this was set, or I think it's sort of modern or something. I haven't played this game, so I can't fight against his examples. But I don't understand how that makes this thing woke. Why it's a problem.
Well, that goes without saying. So we can...
There's the merchant in Resident Evil 8 is incredibly obese, and he gets around very quickly. Is that person... does that make Resident Evil 8 woke? I somehow doubt it, but maybe. Who knows?
Give you millions of dollars to make this inevitable flop, and so we're given Frey, who is an incredibly sanitized 20-year-old orphan who, if you haven't played the game and only heard clips of her dialogue, you would think, well, she's not a stereotype, at the very least, except for the fact that she's committed 3 felonies, has spent a considerable amount of money on sneakers despite living in a...
What's... I'm like kind of lost in this dude's reasoning now. What are the problems with any of these things? Was he saying that, like, she spent money on sneakers, so she's a black stereotype? Is that his point? Okay. I spent a bunch of money on sneakers. Am I a black stereotype? You heard Elden Ring takes place in Canada. Yeah, this is I have some cousins in Toronto, and it's pretty much the same. I live not far from Vancouver. This is just basically, yeah, this is what it looks like. It's not any different. Especially Caelid. I think Caelid is more like the Yukon. I've been to the Yukon too. Caelid is almost exactly like that. This has got to be. I think this is pretty much just Canada. I think you're right. North to pick up a string. Guarded by a giant. Okay, that was a troll. So we're looking for a giant. They said northeast, right? Head northeast of the Stormhill Shack. Yeah, that's what we're doing. But okay, I might get hurt. Nope, I didn't. Cool.
In a shithole. She works for a gang, and honestly, the list goes.
That is just what he's saying. He's saying that she's a stereotypical black character because she's in a gang and she lives in a shithole. That's those are quite the statements, my guy. Yeah. Where else? The strength not crystal tier guarded by a giant. This there's an invader that comes this way, right? Yeah, there's an invader over here. Is it guarded by a giant though? I mean, I guess I'll go get that item. I thought there was an invader here, isn't there? Yeah, invaded by Recusant Henricus. Let's see if we can beat him. Doing great so far. Absolute excellent start. For those of you who are new, I'm not particularly amazing at this game or anything. So feel free to laugh at me because I'm bad. Oh, I can just do this to him instead of my other attack. I'll be fine. I think he probably heals himself, but... Thanks. Really? None of those hit him? That was lame. You got it, dude. Look at how lead I am, though. I'm so fucking lead at this game. I just said I was bad. It turns out I lied. I'm amazing. I used one tactic, and then I switched tactics because it didn't work. And I don't care about any of that. That makes me incredibly good, right? Let's keep hearing about why she's a black stereotype because she is poor in a gang or whatever he said. All the lovely, fun stereotypes that we've heard a million times.
I covered it in my review if you're curious. So it's funny that her dialogue is written more like some kind of quirky Marvel movie mixed with a millennial white woman trying to write what Zoomers are like these days.
Mixed with a millennial white... Okay, so he's saying that the fact that... Is he saying that the fact that she, like, kind of acts like a millennial white woman is bad because she's a black woman? I'm getting kind of lost in what he's saying. And I'm also stopping him a good bit, so maybe I'm not following what he's saying perfectly. But that's interesting. I still haven't found the giant that's guarding that tier. Okay. Head northeast of Stormhill Shack. So this is Stormhill Shack. Head northeast. So we did that. I guess it could be like here. I haven't found the giant. I swear I've seen it before. I kind of remember doing this a couple years ago when I was playing it. But oh, there's something. This might hurt. I don't care. Okay. Somber smithing stone. Cool. Why can I not find just this thing? I don't even know if I want the tier, but I'm just trying to get, like, everything. I remember there being a giant that you can fight around here. There's a knight. I don't really care about him, though. Is it up this way? If I were a giant, where would I be? I mean, that's still the... Why wouldn't you say it's, like, near Saints Bridge, if this is what you were getting at? Or the Death Touch Catacombs? Or, like, here? Sometimes this guide just doesn't help me as much as I want it to. It's not guiding me well enough. We'll continue our search.
And it just doesn't work in the least. And so to bring this back around to the escapism point, a big problem with this is that isekai stories are almost anti-escapism.
Okay, I don't remember what an isekai is. I might have to look that up. Okay, so here's a giant, right? This guy? He's alive. Is he guarding the tier? Maybe this is what they're talking about. That probably is it right there. Okay, I think we found it. So let's start. Don't care. Big butt, so what? I'm not even paying attention to his attacks, honestly, because he's low enough health that I'm just not worried about it. Some elite, excellent gamer. Alright, got him. Is this the tier? This thing right here. Lance Talisman. That wasn't even what we're looking for. Oh, no. That's a giant, right? Those trolls aren't considered giants, right? Where the hell? I guess it could be, like, by the finger? Finger Reader Crone? Or, like, over here? I thought I went there. Maybe I didn't? No, I did. I have no idea what they're talking about. Right before you head to Stormvale Castle. Head northeast of the Stormhill Shack. This is it. Right? This is Stormvale Castle. Northeast of the Stormhill Shack. Northeast would be this way. We're going to try it again. I don't know if we're going to succeed, but we're going to try and see what we can do.
At least for me. Conceptually, it should be the opposite, because it's a normal person being brought into some magical world and you get superpowers. And so on the surface level...
Okay, that's what an isekai is? It's a normal person being brought into like a magical world and superpowers? Okay. Yeah, I'm not big into anime, so I do not know any of the terms there. So we already fought this guy. Oh, is this it? This is it, isn't it? Yes. Oh my god. It was so simple. I was getting confused by the fact that this is a troll and not a giant. Whatever. At least I thought I think it's called a troll, isn't it? Anyway. Once you reach the main gate, head to the left and down and grab a couple items. Okay, we're going to do that. But let's continue talking. Learning about how isekais break you out of escapism.
Well, you think, oh shit, that might actually be the perfect escapist story, because it's made for normies to pretend that they live in a fantasy world and have superpowers. Now here's the problem with that. One, you need to have a blank slate protagonist to make this even feasible.
Do you need to have a blank slate protagonist to have escapism? I don't know why you would. I got escape in stories. I'm nothing like any of the Avengers or anything like that, and I just got a good amount of escapism when I'm watching those movies. So, I don't know if that makes any sense. This is, yeah, I had to left speak to take a suggestion by entering through the alternate route. Okay, yeah, I agree.
The guards have your
Is there anything else you need to tell me?
your
Okay, cool. Yeah. Talk to him. Using the alternate route. Let's go.
Or at least a protagonist that serves as a male or female power fantasy. So that even though...
Okay, so they have to be a blank slate or they have to be super powered. Can't have any weak, strong character. You can't have a person who is a strong character but is weak in power level. That is not a thing that is possible in if you want to be doing escapism. That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why you can't get engrossed in a world that has strong or weak characters. People who are strong characters but weak power level. That's what I'm looking for. I would love to hear the the defense of that.
we couldn't picture ourselves literally being this person, at least we can look to them as a sort of idealized version of ourselves.
Can you not get engrossed in a story about somebody who's facing an immense amount of struggle? Oh, it's these bastards. Oh, I already proven that I'm bad. God! Ugh. One more, okay. Not starting off good against these Blade Eagles. They're demons. But I'm sure we'll get through them. I have faith. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like a really close-minded statement to say that a weak power level character cannot get you immersed.
Which is how heroes used to be written. Now so many hero characters are horribly flawed, and sometimes those flaws aren't even intentional.
I actually totally disagree. I think so many hero characters right now are actually not flawed. Captain Marvel is like a perfect human being. I guess she's mean sometimes, but she doesn't have any major flaws or weaknesses or anything. She doesn't have to do any growing. It's insane. I feel the same way about, was it Shuri, the new Black Panther, I think? What is her major flaw? She's smarter than Banner and Stark, apparently. So what is the major flaw there? I thought you could go this way. Can you not? Am I supposed to go around some other way? What did they say? Outside the summoning pool, loot the body, entertain the body. Yeah, loot the body, obtain a gold. I might have already done that. I think that was up there, right? Yeah. Atop another concrete beam nearby is a lootable body that will give you 3 ruin fragments. There's a beam nearby? I know we have to fight this freaking bird again, but that's okay. Alright. I thought there was a way to, like, get up. Maybe it's later. Oh, okay. I'm just an idiot and didn't follow it. That happens. Sometimes I'm stupid. Okay, there's a few things around here. That's good.
Intentional to make those characters feel more
Anyway, yeah, the unfortunately one of the things I noticed is a lot of the male characters have all the flaws. The female characters have like none. Like Doctor Strange screws up left and right in Doctor Strange 2, and then like America Chavez does nothing. But then nothing wrong. But then again, Wanda is turned into an absolute monster in that, so maybe that pattern doesn't exist so much. But yeah, I've seen a lot of characters without flaws. Not a superhero, but Rey is perfect, right? In Star Wars, like there's nothing wrong with her. She doesn't make any mistakes. She does everything right. She's a god. So yeah, I don't know that I agree with that, but maybe he's got a couple of examples to show us why we're wrong.
relatable, where in reality, it feels like the opposite for somebody like me, because I don't want to be this super flawed person. I don't want to be a Mary Sue or a Gary Stewie.
Ugh, okay. Yeah, I wanted to say something about what he was saying, but I started dying to the goddamn blade talon eagles. Okay, 1 down. 2 down. Very good. It's so much easier that I played a strength character the first time, and like I was struggling with those guys. I also might be a little bit better at this game, probably not. But I was really struggling with those guys. Okay, was that the Summersmithing zone that they were talking about? I think so. Or no, they said something about ruin fragments. Yeah. On top of a pillar, which I didn't see.
Either, but that certainly would be a step up from being completely unlikable.
I mean, yeah, I can escape to a story with an unlikable character. I actually appreciate unlikable characters a lot. God damn it, I did it again, so I'm gonna have to fight that stupid bird. I didn't mean, I wasn't thinking. Okay. But yeah, unlikable characters add to my escapism sometimes. I think a couple of examples. A good one is, what's her name? Joffrey in Game of Thrones. He's a great character, but he's a piece of shit, and everyone hates him. But to say that Game of Thrones doesn't do an adequate amount of escapism, I think would be a strange statement. Is this what they were talking about doing? Going down here? I just don't know which pillars or whatever they were talking about. I'll go around this way and try to loot things. But yeah, he's an unlikable character. Another one is Umbridge in Harry Potter. She is incredibly unlikable, but I wouldn't say that Harry Potter is bad at escapism. They're not the main characters. I'm trying to think of a... There probably isn't very many good works of literature where the main character is very unlikable. Maybe, what's that, Catcher in the Rye? I don't remember that book. I don't know if I ever actually read it, even though I was supposed to. He's an unlikable character. But it's a pretty popular book, so I wouldn't say it offers very little escapism. So yeah, we're making strange statements about what can be escapist here. And it's weird. I don't like it.
Like Frey is. Another example of a game that kind of ruined my escapism is Far Cry 6. The Far Cry games are actually pretty okay as escapist fantasies because the characters are pretty much blank slates with...
I've already talked about this, but blank slate is not necessary in escapism. I just don't get why he's got such a problem with it. I've never noticed that hole before in playing this. Oh, that hole. It's just the whole side of it getting absolutely trashed on. Yeah, I don't understand. Give me a reason why it has to be a blank slate or a very strong non-blank slate. Like, give me an actual reason. Don't just say it. Give me a reason.
With the exception of Jason Brody, and even in his case, he didn't really talk that much, especially not during gameplay, so it's still pretty easy.
So yeah, I mean, you're definitely not gonna like the classic Sony third-person action games, because those are not blank slate characters. You could, I would say he's not, but you can in some ways argue that Kratos is. He's very strong though, so I guess you would say he's still immersive. But Kratos doesn't say much. That doesn't mean he lacks character, but he doesn't say much. So maybe if you're just trying to paste things onto him, it'd be much easier, because he's not talking all the time. I don't think I ever actually got all the rune fragments. But if that's his definition, if that's his qualifications for what makes things not escapist, I would say that, yeah, I guess you're probably right. I just think that's actually an insane qualification for what makes things escapist. Continue to make your way into the castle. Bloody talent evil that made us from above. Come across the site of grace, the right call. So, is that this one? Yeah, I didn't find the rune fragment, so I don't care that much. Do I have... How many do I need to level up? Okay, I only need 300 more. I have enough consumables for that. God, I got a lot of consumables. Maybe I should just use all these. Yeah, I might... You know what? We're gonna use them all, see if we can level up twice. I don't remember what the math on all this is, so it may not work in our favor. But we're gonna give it the old college try. Now that I'm doing it more, I have a bad feeling that this isn't going to work out. Made that not look good. You know what? We'll save the 4. Let's not completely screw ourselves. Get away from the mic so I can drink my water. Sorry if I'm making weird noises there. I'm trying to figure out ways around that, and I'm not very good at it. Alright. Let's continue here. Hard leather shield, that was mentioned. Okay. Alright. Got through that onslaught a little bit. Doing alright. Yeah, I got the marred leather shield. Continue. Beware of 3 castle guards. Yeah, okay. Did that. Another castle guard clear. I'm gonna loot the corpse to golden rune. Okay. What do we got here? Oh my god. Okay. We got learned. You guys gotta go. But we can actually continue the video. I know those are gonna be big explodey guys, so we're gonna watch out for that.
Easy to insert ourselves in his shoes, and there's a sort of Ludo Kino aspect to it, to use kind of a cringy term, but I think it works in this case, where Jason is slowly desensitized to all the horrific violence over the course of the game, much the same as a gamer would be over the course of the game.
He's desensitized to the violence much the same way that a gamer would be. I mean, I guess. Okay, I thought he might actually care about my swing. He did not. We learned. Yeah, let's take care of those fire guys because they're clearly hitting me from up there. I don't know. Maybe I'm the crazy one, but I've never been. I've never played a game that had a bunch of violence and been like heavily affected by it, and then later on. Okay, we just fell out of the sky. Later on was desensitized to it because the game just kept bringing it in. Maybe I'm weird though. Let me know if you have had that happen to you. But that... I've never... Yeah, that's just not a thing that's ever happened to me. But who am I to argue with his experience? I think that's just down to death. So we will go back down there because all the fire throwing guys are gone.
Slowly get used to doing all this crazy shit, and it becomes normal for you. And that was...
I guess that's kind of true. Not so much like the violence of it, but like, I don't know. It might be really cool to like do a bunch of actions in a game, and the more you do them, the less cool they are. So maybe I can agree with you there.
Actually pretty well handled, despite the fact that the story was more on the minimalist side of things, as it should be for a lot of video games. But as for...
That was a hell of a statement. The story for a lot of video games should be on the minimalist side. Why? Can I jump up there? Yes, I can. Okay. Why should the story be on the minimalist side for a lot of video games? That seems like a very weird statement. I missed that guy. That's weird. Okay, whatever, he's done now. Okay, you're gonna throw things at me, and now you're going to die. I think story not should be in more games or something, but I think video games... No! So mean! Dang it! But I think video games have the potential to tell a story better than almost any other medium, because you are... Well, better than any medium, because you could just effectively put a movie in it. You shouldn't, but you could. You can effectively put a book in a game. You can effectively put music or just like auditory storytelling in a game. But you can't put interaction in other things. So games have more potential to tell a story than anything else. So the idea that games should have minimalist stories is insane.
Far Cry 2, 4, 5, and 6, the character you're playing as basically doesn't matter at all. And in Far Cry 5 specifically, you're not even really playing as a character. You make your own rookie. So then what happened with Far Cry 6? Well, they attempted to make a character again, and I literally can't remember his fucking name, and no...
Is not being able to remember their name an indication of it being bad? I would say no. I do remember the names of the characters I like a lot, but that's mostly because I rewatch those things. There's a lot of video games where I forget the names of the characters because I just don't replay video games that often. So I wouldn't say that that's immediately a mark of it. Maybe it is for him personally. Maybe he's really good at remembering names when the things are better. But that's not an argument for the character not being good. Okay, you're gonna do that. I guess I'll just trigger you right quick. Get my smoldering butterfly. So yeah, strange arguments about stories being made here.
I'm not going to look it up because it kind of proves my point. And despite having third-person cutscenes and...
It absolutely does not prove your point. You don't have to look it up, that's fine. But it doesn't prove anything for you. Alright, got that. I know Homeboy's going to be coming down. Yep. We got our revenge. Very good. Nothing in here. Cool.
Having a lot more dialogue again, like Far Cry 3, the story felt like it was more about these smaller rebel groups that you unite together to form Libertad. And of course, these smaller groups were a reflection of the developers' ideology. Two of the groups...
I haven't played the game, but I'm interested to see how they were a reflection of the developers' ideology. So far, we haven't gotten much when he makes statements like that. So let's see if things have changed.
Groups in particular were pretty cringy, one of them being led by a lesbian couple, but not actually, as one of them transitioned into a man, and the quest line around this group is literally settling...
A lesbian couple, where one of them transitioned into a man. Interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't expect that in Far Cry. I mean, it's fine. But okay. I don't think that's automatically cringy. I don't know why people's gender identities or sexual orientations would automatically make something cringy. But apparently it's very cringy for him.
His debts with the person who transitioned him. You can't...
I am actually a little bit proud of this guy. I didn't think he'd be the one to respect pronouns there. He did it in a kind of dickish way, but totally respected their pronouns. Good job, dude. Proud of you. Let me make sure I'm not doing anything crazy here. Did I miss anything? Martin Little Shoe, Castle Guard, yep. Throwing Dagger and St. Trina's arrows. Smoldering Butter, yeah, I did that. Banished Knight will be there through the door on the right. Okay, so this is the door at the night. I remember that. Did I miss anything major here? He's going to be a tougher fight. And a super hard one. Okay, I missed this. Got my golden rune. Can I jump to that? I'm going to try. Easy peasy. Yeah, I'm going to actually not play the video while I fight the knight. I know the knight is a little bit difficult. And I'm not very good. So let's see. Where are you? Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Already eating shit. Can you drink, please? There you go. Oh. Ugh. I should win this, but I'm struggling more than I should be. There we go. Banished Knight Armor Altered. Nice. We should be able to get a key in here somewhere. Is it this? Curved Sword Talisman. That's probably the key. The key goes to that door that's down there, right? Yeah. Let's see, is this a better thing here? Heavy load. It's very good. How much heavier is it than what I'm wearing? A good bit. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to keep my medium roll weight. Maybe I can try to calculate it later. But right now, I'm not all that worried about it. Well, let's hear about why this lesbian to straight trans person is cringy.
Can't argue that that's not woke. You are taking the player hostage and forcing them to engage with something they probably don't even believe in.
You're taking the player hostage and forcing them to engage. You're not forced to engage in anything. Don't play the game. I mean, I get his point. Like, I guess, they weren't expecting this or whatever, but I don't know. Like, to an extent, all games are forcing you to do something. You just, I guess in this instance, don't like the thing that they're forcing you to do. It does seem to be a progressive kind of character, and that's his definition of woke. So I suppose it is woke by his definition, but like, I had a feeling somebody was there. I didn't know though. So yeah, what's the problem though? He also just says, "Oh, you can't tell me that's not woke." Like, okay, even if it is that always bad? You can make this guy kill himself, I think, can't you? Do it. I guess not. Yeah, so I mean, I suppose by his definition it is woke, but it's like whether or not that's an actual problem. Personally, not a problem for me. But what do I know?
And the other member of the couple is even worse. She's a psychotic bitch who thinks it's okay to kill people because they misgender your boyfriend.
Okay, well, Far Cry, I played only a couple Far Cries, but there generally are psychos in Far Cry. So is it, like, unreasonable for there to be one to, like, think it's okay to kill people who misgender them? It is a bit extreme. It's a bit weird, but I don't know. Far Cry games are extreme and weird. It doesn't seem that bad to me. Like, I don't know. Characters who fucking fly off the handle for, like, little shit can be pretty fun. Crazy characters are entertaining all the time, so... yeah, maybe he just doesn't like crazy characters. Maybe he would never watch a Joker. I don't know.
I know at least one person's going to argue that I took context out of that scene because this blonde woman apparently ran some kind of academy for brainwashing people, which again just feels like pure projection on the developer's part, as we all know what ideology is being fed to people in American universities.
So... they killed this person because they were brainwashing people? Doesn't that just... You literally just contradicted your own statement. Oh, God, I wish I played this game so that I'd actually know what he's talking about, but... he just contradicted himself. What the hell is that? Ugh. I don't get it. Why even mention that? It's like bad faith. He's just like, literally just like, hey, I took out this context. Let me try to argue against the context. Yeah, I took it out. Like, what kind of argument is that, dude?
At the very least. Not to say it can't go both ways, but this bitch is just straight up unlikable. She puts a gun to a horse's head. No, that's not a zebra, it's just painted to look like one. And is obviously unstable to any normal person watching this shit. But because she's LGBT, we're supposed to let it...
Well, there's a lot of unstable people in that game, like I said. I don't know if the game... I would like to see evidence that the game is actually saying, nope, this person's totally good. The fact that they're unstable is actually a good thing, because they're killing the right people. Like, I just don't know it well enough to know if that's actually true, and based on the other things that you've said, I don't believe you. I think there's a site of grace nearby, isn't there? I just want the site of grace. Is it through here? Here it is! Yay! We are saved. Touch grace.
Slide. The other cringy group were the Zoomer communists, and I'm not even saying Zoomer as an insult here, that was the entire point of their group, and they reunite with the original communist revolutionaries, which obviously the country of Yara was just supposed to be Cuba, so you can see where the parallels are there. And in a brief moment of lucidity...
Okay, so he's complaining that they have a group of communists. That's totally reasonable. I don't remember the setting of Far Cry 6, but I don't know. Communism is... It's reasonable to have a group that supports communism. Just because the existence of a group that supports a thing in a piece of media is not necessarily support of that thing. There are Nazis in the in Indiana Jones. Do you think Indiana Jones supports Nazism? No. So let's see if he explains, unlike he did with the previous person, let's see if he explains that this group is considered the good guys and that the story is rewarding them. But before we do that, I'm actually going to go to the bathroom real quick. We'll sit at the site of grace. Go to the bathroom. I will be right back, I promise. Alright, I have returned. I don't know if that actually counted toward my stand goal on my watch. Yes, it did not. So I'm actually going to stand up for a little bit here. But not for long. You should be able to hear me. Hey, you can still hear me, so let's listen a little bit.
The communists from the 60s realized that their Zoomer comrades are more radical than they are, basically wanting to burn everything to the ground. But I don't think that's what the messaging was in the cutscenes. That's the weird fucking part. A huge criticism of Ubisoft games from both the left and...
What was the... He said he doesn't think that's the messaging in the cutscenes? What was the messaging in the cutscenes? Why is it a problem that these Zoomer people are more extreme than the, like, 60s or whatever communists? Why is that? Alright, I did my standing. So now I can get back to play. But why is that a problem? I don't think we're going to get an explanation. Maybe we will. Who knows? Well, no, I think we already moved on. He's showing Spyro, so it doesn't look like we're going to get an explanation for that one. Smuggling, bonafide, banished knife would be through the... Yeah, we did all that. Fire grease off a body. Jump across the platform leading outside. Do a two-headed. Proceed down on a brick. Did I obtain the brick hammer? Looks like I missed something. Not that surprising. I think I got that. I have another banished knight. Yeah, be able to reach. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I missed something. So let's try to go back and get it.
and the right is that they never commit to any kind of real political messaging in their games. They don't seem to follow an ideology left or right.
Isn't this whole thing about talking about like how there's ideology all over games, and now he's saying that they don't commit to it? I don't understand, my dude. Got him. So good at the game. But yeah, getting mixed messages here. Where would the brick? There's not cursed sword tells me. Yeah, that's fine. I missed the brick hammer. I don't plan on using it, but I'm trying to get everything in the game, so it looks like I can. What does this say? Is it always futility? Sure. I can jump into there. Oh, didn't mean to do that. That's lame. There was an item I saw. Yeah. Across the way. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, I didn't fully understand how to do it. So maybe it's this way. We'll explore a little bit, see if we can figure it. Yeah, he's got the brick hammer. I want to be that guy.
Trying to play down the center. A bunch of game journalists threw a hissy fit over Far Cry 5 for this very reason, because originally they thought it was going to be an anti-Christian game.
Yeah, he's saying people threw a hissy fit because of the... as Far Cry 5 was not anti-Christian. I mean, it does make sense that games wouldn't be super polarizing because they want them to be palatable for everybody. So, I mean, that's not surprising. It's a fair enough criticism, I suppose, but I thought you were criticizing the explicit existence of these things in the games at first. So I don't... It seems like we're backtracking or something now. Very strange. Okay, yeah, we missed a couple of things. I definitely didn't go up there. It looks like I can just jump to it, right? Yep. A hop, skip, and a jump. Okay, there's one of these guys. Okay, that'll get us one of the items at least. You just die. Man, just die, dude. Isn't that easier? Okay, so that'll get us... Yep. And you. I missed my first one. Bad. So, yep, you're good. Anything over here? Don't see anything. Yeah, so we got this item. That's the brick hammer. That's cool. So we figured that out. What is the other one? How do we get to that other item that was hanging out there? Where exactly was it? It was... I'm in here. It's up there? I'm looking here. I mean, that looks like I just need to drop from higher, probably, right? That'd be my guess. But we did get the brick hammer. So let's go back to... I think it's a Rampart Tower that we were in, right? Yeah, Side of Grace up the stairs. Go back outside the room, continue upstairs to fight 2 hooded enemies and loot a throwing dagger and dryer. Let's do it.
So all the fedora-tipping atheists were getting a hard-on at the prospect of yet another...
Sorry. Fighting 2 hooded enemies and loot throwing... Yeah, continue upstairs. Got it. There we go.
Another piece of propaganda demonizing one specific religion.
I'm totally down with demonizing Christianity, personally. I am one of them edgy, fedora-wearing atheists. But I also am down to demonize all religions. I'm not a big fan of any of them. Alright, so we got that. These. I can grab this. Throwing dagger. Throwing dagger, what was the other item? It was a drawstring fire grease. Didn't notice that. Not super worried about it. I didn't notice it. I don't know about the deluge of games that are shitty on Christianity, though. Maybe we'll get an example.
Because they hate their dads. And then it turns out...
Yes, because they hate their dads. That's why they insult Christianity. Sure.
No, it was just about a crazy cult, and there's plenty of good Christian dudes in Montana, which is much more true to real life. The problem is, with Far Cry 6, they kind of went in the opposite direction.
Okay. Castle guards, didn't find a fire grease. Don't care that much, but clear any enemies you come across. Mainly castle guards. For a talisman, jump up the ledge towards the sandbag piles. Jump down the wooden platform. Yes, I think that's actually that was the thing that I was trying to get. I think it's telling me.
But didn't commit all the way. I mean, it certainly is much more pro-leftist than previous Far Cry games.
So is it? Yeah, it's pro-leftist. So does that make it woke, or is it because it didn't commit all the way? Is it not woke? Which one of the? We're going back and forth here a little bit. All right, we're gonna bloody slash get you guys out. A well-timed bloody slash. Go me. Uh-oh. Yep. See, I just don't get. He's now complaining about middle of the road stuff when he's complaining about woke stuff now. Is it just the fact that there's only a little bit of woke? Would you like a game that was full on, just face into it woke? I doubt it. But apparently now you would.
But it has this ludo-narrative dissonance problem where you're supposed to be the freedom fighters, yet you kill hundreds, if not thousands, of people over the course of the game, many of them being women, by the way.
Killing people doesn't necessarily mean you're not a freedom fighter. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. There's a... For talisman, jump up the ledge toward the sandbag piles and jump down the wooden platform and cross the rooftop. Okay, so this is a different thing. Yeah. They're talking about... Yeah, jumping up the ledge toward the sandbag piles. Yep. Jump down toward the wood platform. Yeah, so it's that. Right? Jump up the ledge toward the sandbag piles. I've done this before, I just don't remember what to do. Jump down toward the wooden platform and cross the rooftop towards the destroyed pillar. Okay. Is this what they're talking about? I don't remember this being the way I wanted to go for the cloud talisman. Maybe it was. Well, let's try to go get that, I guess. Oh, I fell, but doesn't matter. So I was going anyway. Okay, we got smithing stone. So we're clearly not doing whatever it is they told us we should be doing. Yeah, I don't remember what they're saying. I don't remember that being the way to the claw talisman. There's probably a few ways to get to it, though. Like, I remember doing this stuff. And we'll go over there. We'll fight that bird over there. Yep. You spit fire? Why you do that to me? I don't want fire spat at me. Got him. God, a lot of people died of that bird. I didn't do great against him, but I didn't die. So yeah, let's kind of just flail around until we try to find the claw talisman. I think I kind of know how to do it. I think you just kind of go across and... I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Which is something I pointed out in my original review. So is Ubisoft secretly based saying we should treat men and women the same in every scenario, including...
Yeah, I mean... Are they secretly based saying they should treat men and women equal? Yeah, I think killing women is totally fair, so... Is there a game where you can't kill the women, but you can kill the men? I can think of games where like there isn't women enemies to kill. So I don't. Maybe that's what he's saying. Like, oh, a lot of them just you wouldn't even have the opportunity to kill women in most games, and that's also woke. I don't know about that one. Okay, so we got a tower here. There we go.
Including chopping their heads off with a machete. Somehow I don't think that's the message they were going for. Now this
Why don't you think that? Tell me why you don't think that's the message they were going for.
might be beating a dead horse, but obviously The Last of Us Part 2 is probably the most infamous example of being unable to escape propaganda in modern games.
Okay, let's see how it's propaganda. I know that there is a lesbian, there is a well, there's a couple lesbians, a couple trans people. Is this just gonna be what makes it propaganda? I'm gonna guess that is, but maybe there's more. I played The Last of Us 2 though, so I'll be able to actually talk in more depth about what they're talking about here.
Despite the fact the apocalypse took place in 2013, which is a few years before the trans movement even started, one of the major characters in the game, Lev,
A few years before the trans movement even started. There's been trans people since the dawn of time, my dude. Sorry to tell you. Lev can totally exist as a trans person. Totally fine. Okay, I did the... Yeah. Okay, so outside... So I did... Did I do all of, like, that they wanted me to do? As I said, outside, you'll see this. Okay, summoning pool. And yes, okay, so this is where they want me to go. I don't think I really missed much. So, let's... Didn't see any other real enemies to go up there. Do I have a... I do! Look at that. Okay, I'll move that. Yeah, so trans people have always existed. Don't know what to tell you. The apocalypse doesn't stop people from being trans.
is trans. Now, because I never actually played the game and only watched a series of cuts...
We're gonna get a real educated view on the game that he hasn't played, I'm sure. I'm sure it's gonna be great. Let's just see what we get.
...scenes, because I refuse to give Sony any money for that shit.
Pirate it. You shouldn't pirate it. But do that, if that's your thing. But don't speak on this if you don't know, which you clearly don't. So let's find out.
I actually don't even remember what kind of trans Lev is, and I don't...
Lev is female to male. So they are born female, and their gender identity is male. Oh, they're throwing bombs at me. That's very mean. Don't do that. Ugh. That double hit was brutal. Got him. I don't know why that matters, but since they don't know, I'll let you know.
Fucking care. But the fact that we are led to believe that trans people would exist in a post-apocalyptic wasteland where people are struggling to even get food or shelter and people are still killing each other and zombies are infecting people, we have time to talk about gender?
Why wouldn't trans people exist in an apocalypse? Why not? That doesn't make any sense. Like, what is... Just because you need to struggle for food doesn't mean you can't have any other struggles? Like, why couldn't trans people exist? Please tell me. I'm sure you're a doctor and understand this. I'm sure. You definitely have the correct medical stuff or medical credentials to tell me about this. I'm certain of it. So please, tell me why Lev couldn't exist.
And I'm not interested in debating this with anyone until every single one of you has read the atrocities that John Money committed.
Okay. I can't remember who John Money is. I've heard of them. Was that the twin studies where they like trans somebody or something. Was that it? I think it was Twitch. Like they made a boy trans. Like they chopped off his penis and then made them trans or something. I think that was it. I don't know. I'm not familiar with this at all. I heard a story about that or something. But what the hell does that have to do with what we're talking about here? If you're not interested in debating it, then shut the hell up. I'm like, why are you talking about this? I don't get it. This is the second time it's like, I'm not interested in debating a thing that I'm talking about. Then don't talk about it. I don't get it.
So we have that. We have the fact that Abby is obviously a roided out monster, which I feel like would be a huge waste of resources.
That's probably true. I don't know if it's woke or stupid or whatever it is. Women can get to be that size. It's very unlikely. Even I see that they have food. I've seen the Jim Sterling video where they talk about like they try to validate Abby at this size. Abby at this size doesn't make sense. I'm not even a doctor. Maybe I should be a doctor before I speak on this, but it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't see women this size regularly, and I live in a well-fed, non-apocalyptic society. So it seems reasonably unrealistic. I do see trans people, though. So Abby's a lot more unrealistic than Lev. Yeah. Alright, so this is, yeah. Make a way to the entrance of the chapel where you find, Sorcerer Gear. Yes, so, it's gonna be in here, right? Yeah, so we can drop onto one of these little... Boop. And then... And a boop. And we are still alive. He's still alive. Is that him? Yeah, that's him. Cool. Let's go talk to Roger. Well, we learn about... actually, I might agree with most of this section. I'm excited. I'm excited to agree with this section. We shall see.
In the apocalypse to give steroids to a woman instead of a...
I don't know if that body is necessary to defeat. Make a purchase as an... Okay. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. I don't need any of these. Yeah, I don't know that roids are necessary for a woman to get that big. It might be. I really have no idea. But at least good nourishment is. And I don't think she's getting that much. Body like that, pretty tough to... It's tough for men to achieve in the apocalypse, let alone women. I do see that they get to eat their burritos or whatever, but I don't know that that's enough.
A man. And if any one of you thinks a woman can achieve this natty, you're a retard. And of course there's all...
I would like to see... I don't know that I believe it, but... You are just making claims without evidence. Just call me a retard if I do believe it. So... Do you have some kind of counter evidence? Probably not.
All sorts of other weird red flags, like visiting a synagogue for no fucking reason. And again...
Visiting a synagogue for no reason? Why does it have to be no reason? Like, what? Do they... They didn't have to do anything in the game at all, so... I don't know. Is it unreasonable for them to come across a synagogue? Okay, I'm getting stomped by this guy. Ugh. So, we got Exile Gauntlets. Coming at me, bro. I'm gonna make you run at me again like that. That was a good... Yeah! Got him. Charge at me. Banish Knight's Greatsword. Okay, cool. So we did that. Loot the corpse in the area, reach a castle courtyard, and more castle guards. Yeah. Okay, so... Yeah, that was that. We already looked at that. So here... There's like a boss type instance thing. There's a boss there? Or maybe it's not a boss, but it's just like an instance. I don't remember that. Anyway.
Can't even get into it or I'll be demonetized, shadow banned, all that shit, but it is...
Yeah. Sorry, buddy. I guess sometimes advertisements want things to be a certain way. You need to be advertiser friendly. It's a rough world. I'm sorry.
It is weird that we get a mini history lesson on Judaism in the middle of this zombie apocalypse story.
I mean, what was the bannable offense you wanted to talk about? I'm curious. What was the thing you needed to say about Jews that you feel was going to get you shadow banned? Maybe you can DM me it.
And on top of that, a major story point is Ellie and Big Schnozz's lesbian relationship.
Ellie and Big Schnozz's lesbian relationship. Lovely. Doing great. Yeah. I think I have an inkling of what the Jewish thing he was gonna say was. So we're gonna move along. Yeah. We can talk about the lesbian relationship. I do think maybe it's a bit weird that The Last of Us manages to cram so many like I guess LGBTQIA people into it because I don't know, they aren't that common. But I mean, it's not impossible. So it's a bit of an anomaly, but not like in a game, but like a group like that would be a bit of an anomaly. But it's not unheard of, so yeah. Yeah. Clear that for a chance to obtain exile armor. Of course, reach castle courtyard, more castle guards. I haven't gotten to the castle courtyard yet. Was I supposed to already be there? Is there a way out? I don't remember if I can go there this way or how I want to go there. Let's just kill this dude. Swear to God. I didn't go to the castle courtyard. I'm not sure what they're talking about.
And how an Asian guy gets cucked and they're gonna raise his baby. Man, this rabbit hole just goes deeper and deeper.
Would an Asian guy being cucked First of all, he wouldn't get cucked. If they're gonna raise his baby, he's cucking them. That's what a cuck is. A cuck is, well, it's changed, I think, to just guys who like to watch their girls have sex with other guys. But the original term, as far as I understand, was a guy impregnates a woman and her, like, husband or whatever takes care of the kid because he doesn't know that it's not his. That's like an actual cuck. So this is not that. He also didn't watch them. They're not together. So none of this is cucking. Uh-oh. Okay. Hello, guys. No! They got me! Damn it! Oh, that's gonna be a long one. That was my fault, too. I did a bloody slash and hurt myself. That's gonna be a long one to get back to. But we should be able to.
There's a reason why pretty much everyone hated this game. As for the indie side of things, I can cut these guys...
So that was it? A lesbian relationship, a non-cucking of an Asian man, and Big Abby. That's why that game is woke. I mean, yeah, again, his definition of it, I guess it fits. But, like, what's the actual issue? Why is that a problem? Why, man? Why should I be mad at this?
Some slack, because on some level, I do believe that there's nothing wrong with making your creative vision as long as it's a unique IP that you came up with.
What? There's nothing wrong with making your creative vision? Naughty Dog came up with The Last of Us. So they own The Last of Us 2. So they can make whatever vision they want. Neil Druckmann was the creative director on both of them. So what is the problem with that? He just said it's fine in the indie space. Is it just because it's like fewer people? He just contradicted himself again. He's done this multiple times in this video. Let's see why. I don't get it. This doesn't make any sense. All of his other examples, well, Forspoken is a brand new IP, so we can't complain about that one, which he did. Far Cry 6 isn't a new IP. It's probably not. It probably doesn't have a lot of the creative people from like the OG ones, but it's still theirs. So if that's their vision for the IP, then oh well, dude. So what is the argument here?
But it is a shame when you have a game like...
I could see... Maybe that applies to Dead Space. You talked about Dead Space as well, because that's a literal remake, but still. I think a lot of... Excuse me. I think a lot of the people who worked on the OG Dead Space actually worked on the remake. I could be completely wrong about that, because Visceral got shut down. So maybe I'm entirely wrong. I don't know. But I thought I heard that somewhere.
Hat in Time, which on the surface, you're just playing as a little girl in a collectathon 3D platformer adventure, and it's a great game. I'd recommend it to anybody who's a fan of the genre. But of course, there is a trans flag in the game. And look,
just lost 9,000 things because I died to the frickin' Blade Eagles. Oh well, that was the first time I've lost souls in this, or at least a significant number. But oh well, that's the name of the game.
I've now had to cut 2 rants too edgy for YouTube about this.
So the existence of a trans pride flag in that is woke, and a problem. Why can't it be in the game? Why can't we have the flag in the game? What's the problem? It ruins your escapism? Maybe it helps someone else's. I don't know. What's the problem? Tell me. Please, tell me the problem.
Specific issue. So I'll just try and put it as plainly as possible. At best, this is widely misplaced virtue signaling, which is completely worthless. It means nothing, but at least Twitter can be happy, right?
Okay, widely misplaced virtue signaling. I'm really curious as to what makes it misplaced. I don't know where it is in the game, so maybe I'm just wrong. Or, not, maybe I'm just wrong. So, we're gonna have to rely on him to educate us. But, let's see what makes it wildly misplaced.
And at worst, it's grooming, plain and simple. This is
grooming!
a game for children.
He thinks having a trans pride flag is grooming. Telling people that people are proud of trans pride, or people are proud that they're trans is grooming? Okay. So the existence of trans people can't be told to kids. Okay, let's see what you got.
Children. And yes, it is mainly enjoyed by man-children and likely a lot of trans women who want to be children or have relations with children.
Or have relations. I mean, I suppose they could have relations with children. That would be bad, but just because you are trans doesn't mean you have relations with children. We're veering into some odd territory here.
But it does not belong in a kid-friendly game, period.
Why not? I would love to hear why we can't have a flag in a kid-friendly game. Most kids probably don't even know what the flag means. So, let's see why we can't have it.
And then, of course, you have Celeste, where apparently...
Okay, so he didn't explain any of it. We moved on to Celeste. Haven't explained why a trans flag fight is misplaced, or why it's a problem if kids see it. So, good. All your arguments are stupid and pointless and bad. You haven't backed up any of them. Please start doing better. Please, 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 please do better.
Apparently the whole story is a metaphor for transition or something. And Signalis, which although I think is an awesome game, my second favorite game of last year, at the end of the day it's about space lesbians.
Is there a problem with having a story about space lesbians? Apparently it can still be good, because you still really liked it, so that's not the problem. No way. That's a good view. Okay. Come on, charge at me. Put up the shield again. Lame. Hey, I got him! Alright. Apparently there's a problem with having a story about space lesbians in a game that he likes. So, let's hear about it.
Talk about kneecapping your psychological horror story.
Do you think you can't have horror in a game that has gay people in it? Interesting. I would love to know why.
Where in the end, it's about lesbian love. This is what I'm trying to...
Can a horror game not be about love as well? I'm struggling to actually come up with a really good example of the horror. I don't like horror that much, so I'm trying to find one that's really about love that's horror. But I don't know, like, just the on base concept, the idea of losing a loved one is incredibly horrifying. So I don't know why that would be, why these are contradictory. Loss is is a big part of horror. Pain and loss are part of what makes things scary. So I don't know why this wouldn't be allowed in this. So let's find out why it isn't.
Tell you guys, I could probably come up with like a million examples from the past 5 or 6 years especially. But it just feels like it's impossible to escape people's ideology anymore. It's not that older games didn't have political undertones.
So when he uses escapism, he just means escaping their ideology. That's not what escapism means. I mean, that just means you can escape many things for escapism. It doesn't just have to be ideology. But so yeah, so that's, I mean, that's the main thrust of this, is that he just doesn't want to see people's ideology. He's not actually talking about escapism. He's talking about politics in games specifically. But okay, so we need to review your script here, buddy.
Of course they did. A lot of games people love have huge political undertones, like BioShock, right? It's just that the nature of the politics have become so cringe and quite literally gay.
Okay, so yeah, he just hates the politics that are in there. He would like other politics. It's not that the escapism is dead, he just doesn't like the politics that are in him. And apparently gay acceptance is completely bad. We just said, and quite literally gay, so that's a problem with it. Can't have gay people in games. Can't have any other politics that we disagree with in games. We just can't have things. Or we get ripped right out of the game, apparently.
Now to get to the next major issue that is destroying escapism. Remakes in general have just become soulless cash grabs.
Okay. Remakes can absolutely still provide escapism. So we're already starting off on a really weird foot here. We can see that they're soulless cash grabs. I don't think the Dead Space remake or the Resident Evil 4 remake, which are like the most recent ones, fit into this at all. But yeah, tell me why they're all soulless.
They're impressive at face value, but real fans of the original will notice the many flaws beneath the surface. I already brought up...
Okay, we're gonna run past this thing. I'm not a huge fan of Dead Space or Resident Evil 4 to begin with, although I love the remake of Resident Evil 4. So I won't fit into his, oh, this is this thing. Okay. Let's just do this. The dogs. Cool, yep, Alpha Flash. And we got rid of the dogs. Cool. What's this? Body? Chrysalids memo. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I'm not a big fan of the originals of either of those. I played Dead Space. I didn't beat it. I played Dead Space Remake and didn't beat it. I actually hated Resident Evil for a while, and then I played Resident Evil 4 Remake, and I realized it's actually pretty good. But even if there's like differences between the original and the remake that OG fans don't like, that doesn't mean they're soulless cash grabs. You can put a lot of effort into those and just end up pissing people off. It happens.
Up Dead Space Remake at the beginning of the video, and even ignoring all the wokeness stuff, there's plenty of other minor...
He only mentioned one thing on wokeness for this. Actually, I think this goes to the... I was looking for the Site of Grace, and I think this tower takes us there, doesn't it? Yay! We did it! We lost 9,000 runes on the way, but we did it. But yeah, so he didn't prove Dead Space is woke by any imagination. He just likes the bathroom. The bathroom is a big, scary bathroom. Terrifying.
Flaws that game has, which are obvious if you recently played the original. It's obvious to me that the developers at...
Let's start naming them. Put them out there. I have heard almost nothing about major flaws between this and the original. I've only really heard about people liking the improvements. It seems like the gunplay is just pretty much strictly better. I can't really back most of that up. I don't remember the original super well, and I didn't finish this one. But everything that I've heard is that people actually really appreciate the changes. So let's see if he tells us any of these changes that are bad.
That motive are massive pussies, because everything about the necromorphs, whether it's just the looks or the sound effects or the animations themselves, are less scary than the original. And now I'm somebody who's not really scared by any...
I don't remember the necromorphs being not scary in the remake. I'm not gonna make it, am I? I'm stuck! I'm stuck! Run! Run! Yeah, damn it! I'm stuck! That was brutal. But yeah, I'd love to see examples of the necromorphs being less scary in this one. I bet we're not gonna get any.
Action horror game, if you put a gun in my hands, a game instantly becomes way less scary. That being said, this is...
Well, the first one has a gun in your hand, so is it way less scary?
Is even less scary, to the point of several moments in the game being goofy, just because these developers don't
Do we have an example of a moment in the game that is goofy? I doubt it. I don't remember any goofy parts of the game. I played 3/4 of it, so let's see if there's a goofy ending to it.
Understand that animation and sound design are extremely important to horror. If something sounds goofy or looks goofy, boom, immersion is destroyed.
Let's get that goofy sound effect that you got, buddy. Let's hear it.
So to try to get back to my main point, as I've been just rambling for likely over...
You sure have been rambling. The things you're saying have had nothing to do with immersion. So, yeah, get back to the main point. I'd love you to. But before I press play, I'm going to try to kill this thing. I'm struggling pretty hard against it. Hey, I still got it through that pillar. That's cool. Can I... You like my hit and run tactics here? Such a weak gamer. Okay. I thought it was actually facing the other way, so I thought I was safe, but... Oh man, these things are actually helping me! Yep. Scream your head off. Now die! I finally got you. I'm the greatest. Not really worth it, but, you know, I felt like doing it. So, let's listen.
30 minutes at this point. All of this stuff destroys my escapism.
Yep, I cut about 20 minutes of aimless rambling because I ran out of time. Enjoy some SpongeBob B-roll for the rest of the video. How did you run out of time? It's a YouTube video. Just make it however long you want. I've been streaming for hours. And this will be saved as a YouTube video. Just make it however long you want, dude. It's okay, you can do that. How did you possibly run out of time? What does that mean? Where we have left. Okay. Thanks. Alright.
Whether it's the wokeness or the destroying of my childhood games. And
how were any of these games destroyed? You haven't demonstrated any of that. First of all, the only things he mentioned were wokeness. And he said something was goofy without showing it actually being goofy at all. So the only things he really mentioned was wokeness. So isn't that the same thing? Oh shit. Oh, okay. It's actually one of those. Cool. That I will use. I think I have one. Yeah, I don't know. You haven't demonstrated that any of these things are happening.
and making shitty sequels with Tumblrina tier characters. It's hard for me to just get lost in a game anymore, man.
What's this shitty sequel with... Well, actually, okay, that was Far Cry 6, right? Yeah, okay. Never mind. Oh my god, I hate that shit, that stupid dialogue crap that they do. It just got me freaking hurt again. If I die now, it's because of that. Okay. Everything else worked fine. It was just that. I'm a good gamer otherwise. That fucked me. Iron Wet Blade. I hope I'm close to the Site of Grace. I really need one. Yeah.
Man, and I think this is the reason why I had so much backlash to my Starfield is gonna be a disappointment video. Because Bethesda games really do offer that unique immersion angle that most other games don't. Even if they...
I don't know what that... You gotta qualify that one. That's a hell of a statement. It offers a unique immersion angle that other games don't. I like Bethesda games a lot. Skyrim's one of my favorite games of all time, and I actually enjoyed Starfield despite many flaws. But yeah, I'm not really sure what you're talking about. Come down a rooftop and encounter. Okay. Yeah, I think I did everything there. Let's see if he tells us what it means.
Do have some amount of subliminal messaging in them, and maybe this isn't the best example, seeing as it's an Obsidian game, but I think it still counts. Fallout New Vegas, obviously...
Is he going to give us an example of the subliminal messaging and then admit that it's not a Bethesda game? We're having good times out here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, this one I need to run. I'm really not doing well, and there's a lot of guys out there. So I need to try to get to a Site of Grace as fast as I can. I just don't remember where they are. Yeah, people are already mad at me. Exile Arm, Exile Great Other Bother. North of the area where we encountered Omen. Site of Grace is as well in this area. Okay, so we want to head north. Yeah, so we're just gonna sprint. They killed themselves? Yay! Is there a Site of Grace in here? Oh, no, this is a painting. Oh, I'll grab it real quick. I'm down to fight these things again later, but right now I just want that sweet Site of Grace. It's this way, isn't it? I think so. Yes! Haha. Success. We win. Stupid dog! Are you fucking kidding me? No way! That's so dumb! No! Rest at the grace, you fuck! Got it! Oh my god. That was brutal! Yeah, we did it though. Alright, let's keep listening.
They offered a bunch of different ideologies in that game. And unlike pretty much any other game, you could pick which...
So yeah, so he said that it's a bad example and then named something, yeah, not Bethesda, which he admitted to, but that's a strange... Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even sure what his point is anymore.
Ideology you sided with, and take that faction to victory, to win the Hoover Dam and win over Vegas, right? Now, if I remember correctly, Chris Avallone actually didn't...
So is this one now not woke because you can pick which side you're on? It's only woke if you see the wokeness and and can't fight against it. That's when it's woke. I can't fight against the bathroom in Dead Space, so therefore it is not woke, or therefore it is woke. Kind of feels like that's what we're saying. Oh yeah, you can make this thing break this. Come on. Break it. Break it. Maybe it was something else that had to break it? I thought it was him. Oh my god, I'm getting fucking... I want to fight him, but I want him to... God damn it! Okay, come on. You can hit it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I'm pretty sure it's this guy that you make break it, isn't it? Yeah, come on, dude. Hit it. Maybe it isn't him. I kind of feel like it ain't. Alright, let's continue.
Want you to be able to play as the Legion, which kinda sucks. But from what I understand, Josh Sawyer knew that as the player, especially in an open world RPG, you should have the ability to play as the bad guys. And the Legion, unlike the Enclave in Fallout 3...
Interesting that he's saying there are some bad guys, but we're fighting against... We can fight against woke people. I'm not sure if he's saying that those are the same, but... I don't know, just interesting that he's talking about, okay, we can fight against the woke people. And this dude said we want the bad guys. It sounds like maybe that guy might think the non-woke people are the bad guys. Maybe I'm wrong, though.
actually did have some complexity to them. Not enough, and as many players know, a bunch of Legion quests were actually cut from the game and there's mods to restore them, but it was still way more complexity than we've seen from the vast majority of evil choices in games up until that point. And that's what made Fallout New Vegas...
Okay, so specifically being able to be evil is the non-woke stuff. Or isn't it? Is that what specifically makes that not woke? Or is it like the non-existence of gender pronouns and gender-neutral bathrooms and stuff? Is that what makes it not woke? I'm a little bit confused on the messaging here. Yeah, we got hit by that. Okay.
So interesting is that you really could make a compelling argument for any of the factions being the right choice for Vegas. Now, if you pick NCR, I'm gonna call you a Redditor, but still, they were definitely the most established faction that had already restored some semblance.
If you pick NCR, I'm gonna call you a Redditor. Oh, I go on Reddit, so I guess I'm Redditor. I didn't beat New Vegas. I don't even remember who the NCR are. So I didn't. Sorry, just didn't understand that joke.
Of civilization to the wasteland. And look, many people have covered all the factions in New Vegas and made a bunch of videos on this, so I won't go on a huge tangent about it. But even with the actual Bethesda games, even though the writing is usually much more black and white and simplistic, even in the case of Skyrim, the Stormcloak versus Imperial argument is something I still read about to this day. And with Fallout 4...
What does this have to do... Okay, so is he just saying that this is good examples of immersion? Or escapism? I'm not really sure. I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
Or the decision to make the Brotherhood of Steel sort of a lesser evil in comparison to the Institute was actually a pretty interesting story choice. Now, I think both the Institute...
I'm so lost about why we're even talking about this.
...and the Railroad were horribly written to the point where I'm basically forced to side with the Brotherhood of Steel because fuck the Minutemen. But still, at least there was a little bit of complexity there. I guess at the end of the day, what I'm asking for...
Okay. At the end of the day, what he's asking for. Well, let's hear it.
...is another fantasy game I can get lost in. It can be sci-fi too, obviously.
Yeah, another game you can get lost in. Sure. As long as that game does not have trans people or gender-neutral bathrooms or... I don't even remember the other crap that he complained about. It was just gay people. He literally complained about gay people in games, too. So as long as it doesn't have any of that. Oh, also, it can't have a complex, weak character in it. Like, weak power level-wise. They have to be either blank slate and strong, or good character... No, they have to be good character and strong, or blank slate and weak, or something. I don't even remember. He had some nonsensical rules about what the main character was allowed to do. So yes, I'm not quite following that one still.
As Fallout is. But I want to get lost in some other world's rules, and I want as little connections to reality as possible.
Well, there's always going to be several connections to reality, and if you think that people can't make an Unreal game with trans people and gay people and women or whatever else it is you don't like, then I don't know what to tell you. Why can't you have a fantasy world that is not connected to reality that has trans people in it? Why not? Tell me why not.
That's the only way I'm still gonna get immersed at this point. On the most recent stream, I played Kenshi for the first time, and from what I
I'm trying to listen to him, but I can't really hear it. We're gonna talk about Kenshi. Oh, cool! Kill him in one hit. That's awesome. Stopping your wind attack. No more of that.
understand that's kind of a make your own fun sort of game. There is no ultimate goal, but even there, just being dropped in a new universe and not knowing how things work and trying to survive is pretty interesting. It's just that these type of games aren't really popular anymore, at least.
Well, what does that have to do with all the other crap you've been complaining about? Uh-oh. We're not doing too good here. I don't know what this thing that he's talking about now has anything to do with what he was talking about before. They seem completely unrelated. Get both of them, yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we're at another courtyard, right? I think there's a site of grace not far from here, because isn't there like a boss you can fight over here? Would like another site of grace. That would be cool. That'd be helpful.
It's not in the AAA scene. Nobody has copied off of Bethesda after all these years, despite the fact that their games are obviously very popular.
Okay.
It's just that nobody wants.
I'm a little bit panicking here. I don't remember. Okay. Site of grace. We did it. Yeah, nobody copied off Bethesda. Okay. Can you not? Do you have to just do Bethesda? You have to have a lot of choices in order to be immersed in something? Can you not get immersed in movies? Or are you completely unable to get immersed in movies? Or is it you can get immersed in a movie, but as long as it doesn't have the woke stuff in it? Or is it that a game can have woke stuff, but you have to have the choice to fight against it? Like, what are the... Why can't you get immersed in, like, not a woke linear story? Why can't you? You just don't like it? That's why it's not immersive? I don't get it.
Wants to put in the work to create an RPG like that. And before anyone says Breath of the Wild or Elden Ring, that is not the same thing.
I wasn't going to, but it's good that he shouted out Elden Ring while I'm playing it. Okay, let's try to fight this thing. Yeah, you're going wild, my dude. Buck wild. Ugh. That hurt. Alright. You're doing a pretty good job of fighting me, I'd say. Better than I want you to do. Ooh. God damn. I mean, I'm gonna kill it. That's the thing I am, but... Mans is wildin'. That didn't get him? Lame. There we go. We did it. We are God on Earth. Somber, Mystic Smoke, Beast Blood, Old Fang. Let's go.
Neither of those worlds are very fleshed out on the RPG side of things. I don't think anyone plays Zelda for the story, and even if you're really big into Souls-like lore, it's still not the same as actually actively engaging with characters and quests in the world, and the RPG elements are definitely lacking in Souls-likes at this point.
If he defines RPG as just like choice, there is some choice in like Elden Ring, not a lot. There's a lot of choice in how you tackle things, but as far as like affecting the story, there's not much. So if that's all he's talking about, then yeah. But as far as like fulfilling a role and like creating a character, I think this game is really good at it. Actually, I'm gonna guess that that's not what he's talking about. So I guess I'll give it to him.
And to discount one more example, if you bring up Outer Worlds, which actually is probably the only close clone to what Bethesda games are like, that game fucking sucked. Obsidian completely dropped the ball.
I didn't play much of the Outer Worlds. I got a little bit bored with it, but I've heard it's actually a better RPG than what Bethesda, at least as far as RPG goes, maybe not a better game, but like the RPG elements of that are actually way better than what Bethesda's been putting out. So I'm interested to hear why the game sucked.
Especially compared to their previous work on New Vegas, the factions had no complexity whatsoever. It was just as black and white as Fallout 3. And the entire world and characters and lore could pretty much just be
Really
summed
good,
up as
really good
capitalism bad.
Okay, so yeah, that game is bad because capitalism bad, therefore it's woke, therefore it's a bad game. Right.
I guess to bring this to some kind of conclusion, it's sad that some of the most immersion I felt from a recent game I played was the new SpongeBob game, the Cosmic
I find that very strange that you were more immersed in SpongeBob than, I don't know, a more story-heavy game, like, what's it called? Let's see if it explains why. I don't get very immersed in SpongeBob. I think I played Bikini Bottom Rehydrated or whatever just a little bit, just to try it out, because it seemed like a meme. But I'd like to hear why this is more immersion. Is it just because there's no politics in it? I mean, that's going to be it, right? Why am I even asking that? Of course, that's going to be it.
Shake, the spiritual successor to Battle for Bikini Bottom. Now, I love Battle for Bikini Bottom. It's one of my childhood cult classic games. This new game is definitely not as good. Instead of being an exploration-based collectathon, it is a linear collectathon where the actual collectible...
Is there a reason... Does that have anything to do with the game being immersive or good escapism? You can have a linear thing that has good escapism, right? I mean, I guess he just said it's a bad game, but it is just a complete tangent, so...
is borderline meaningless, which is obviously a downgrade, but there was a lot of love put into certain aspects. I think the cutscenes are very well animated. The fact that it's...
Okay, I'm glad you like the SpongeBob game. I don't know what this has to do with the rest of the topic of the story, but I guess we can let you listen. I haven't played it. Maybe the cutscenes are beautiful. I'm not really watching, so maybe showing just the most pretty cutscene I've ever seen. But I'm glad you like the SpongeBob game. Okay, I want to stop getting shot. Oh, they're up there. That's not gonna happen then. I think we've gotten pretty much back to the front of the gate.
Just SpongeBob means that there's no real politics in it, thank God. And
that's it. It's just politics. That's the only thing that he can't do. He gets ripped out of games the second somebody said, not even all politics, he mentioned them earlier. Just the cringe ones where there's gay people or women or whatever things he's talking about. That's it. That's the only thing we have. Pretty boring and lame conclusion. Not backed up by anything. Maybe your personal feelings like that. Maybe you just, every time you see something that you don't agree with, you immediately get ripped out of the game. I don't, but I don't know. Doesn't make a good argument. Yeah, I opened the gate. So, this is where what's his name is, right? Yeah. Okay, so we made it through like the whole castle. Pretty sure I could run through and go fight the boss now if I wanted to.
At the end of the day, I really enjoy 3D platformers, and I'll take what I can get. So hopefully more games in the future can be like SpongeBob, or be like Skyrim or Fallout or something. This video really had no direction. I just wanted to...
Oh my god! That's the most true thing he said all day! This video really didn't have any direction. Didn't have points, direction, arguments, nothing. It had nothing. It was a vehicle for that frickin' wallet ad. That was basically all it was. At least he recognizes it. Isn't that great? Let's finish her off then.
Complain about the fact that I can't experience escapism anymore because developers don't want me to escape reality. We have to constantly have communist propaganda shoved down our throats until we either choose...
Can't have communist, like, no fantasy world is it possible to have communist ideology. We know this. This is just true, guys. It's obvious. Everyone should know this. How could you possibly think anything else?
To end ourselves willingly, or we join the glorious revolution, which means consuming products. Let's be real. There's not gonna be any fucking revolution from these people.
I might agree with them a little bit there. It's kind of funny that they're using capitalism. I guess the revolution needs to use the tools available to them, but I do think a lot of that rings kind of hollow, like Disney putting in like their gay kiss or whatever, and then taking it out for other things. So I might agree with them a little bit there, where there's some hypocrisy going on, if that's his point there.
They're being supported by every billion-dollar corporation. That's not a revolution. But whatever, I'm tired of talking about politics. Hopefully Hogwarts Legacy...
You are not tired of talking about politics. I'm certain of it. I bet you will bring this up every chance you get and make many, many videos on it. I don't believe you're tired of talking about it. That's why you made the video.
Doesn't have too much propaganda in it. Not that I even care about Harry Potter in the first place, but still, since I've chosen to play it, maybe I can escape into the world of Hogwarts.
I'm pretty sure there's a trans character right at the beginning of it, so he probably hated that.
Whatever. See you next time, guys.
Well, that was an adventure. That was... yeah. That was quite the thing. What did we learn today? Oh, sorry, I got my windows a little bit screwed up here. I need to actually keep that smaller so that the thing always shows up. It's okay, I'll fix it. What did we learn here today? We learned any ideology that we don't agree with can't be put in things, or else we will be ripped right out of it. If you disagree with an ideology, we can't have a fantasy world with that ideology in it because it's no longer immersive. We learned that wokeness means all progressive ideology. If any trans people or gay people exist in a game, that is bad and woke and unimmersive. We learned that it's unimmersive to have a non-blank slate character. They have to be either blank slate, and they can be either weak or strong, like power level, or they can be a strong character with strong abilities. We can't have strong character with weak abilities. That will also break immersion. So these are known facts that were proven to us time and time again in the video. Yes. So I'm glad. I, for one, am glad to have my mind expanded in such things. But we also learned that I lost 10,000 runes, or 9,000, or whatever it was, and I've made it through most of Stormhill Castle here. So I think we're also going to learn next time that I'm able to fight Margot. I think that's the next thing I'm going to do. So with that, I want to thank you all for watching. I'm going to end it here. I appreciate all of you. Looks like we had a couple new people. I hope you guys stick around for the next one. Might do the next one tomorrow. My current idea of a schedule is Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I'm normally busy Friday nights, and Mondays work pretty well because I work from home. So then I can normally start earlier because I don't have to deal with traffic. And I'm just chilling on the weekends. So that's kind of my idea. I'm really having a good time doing this even when people aren't watching. So I'll probably keep doing it for a little bit. But thank you to those who are. And we'll see you on the next one.